Boom, what is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade during the midday. That right there is your boy Joey Option. It's like you haven't seen him for a hot minute, and I'm Sharif. And you think we wait for people to come on over from the other stream because the boys there were late. Here we go. We got Vecna, LFG. I feel that energy right there, my man. I do like that. Mateus Lane, 605, Racer X9, and even Joseph's joined us in the chat. How about Michael Mulvey, Zeke, Jacques, BGZ, Cristiano Ronaldo. We got Cigar Attaché. So you can get some cigars. I like that. Evan, Michael Ryan, No Code. We got Jonas. We got Dude Rocks 420. I like that as well. Abby, Bert, Ravi, Derek, Midday Rester. Yes, I like that. City Boy 305. Where are you from? Lo-Fi Soul and Rishi Desai, Kobe the Kid. And we got Davian Adams. I hope I didn't butcher your name. I butchered Joseph's brother's name because I didn't know it was Davon instead of Devon.
It is Devon. It's Devon, not Devon.
I'm still butchering it, bro. I'm still butchering it. All right. We got Nathan. We got Carl. We got J-Flow, Venato, Farm Trader, Andreas, Ayoub, Jordy. How about my man Fat Fig? I haven't seen you in a minute, Fat. So shout out to you, the Piper. Good day to you, my man. Aaron Cool. We got Norman. We got Hussein. Abby Jazz. Who else, man? Come on. Apex House Cat. Ginvesting. What do you think that means? Davian. AYB. Venato. One more. John Manzoni. You sound like one of Katina's boys. Shout out to you as well. Good morning, Joseph.
Good morning. Yeah, hopefully you guys don't get sick of me after today because you're going to be seeing a lot of this face. I probably shouldn't have done that. Slightly cringeworthy, but that is okay. Sharif, we were trading TSLA here today. Worked out really good. An accidental ad up here, guys, if we can pull up my screen real quick. So a nice accidental ad on TSLA. Looking for a base to form here. Still don't have my chart up here, but that's okay. We'll hold it off. We're holding $8.30 pretty well, guys. So maybe I'll look to get in on this lower end of the range, and then maybe we can start to climb higher in the market. We did punch through VWAP in the indices, guys, but now pulling back in. Sharif, we have a hot lesson today on some tape reading. Anything you want to touch on?
Absolutely. We're going to tell them exactly what we're looking at here, Fabian. We're going to show them the small cap gappers that we've got on watch. RGC looking awfully good right now, man. 145%, the number one gapper, trading at about 10 1/4 with the high of the day about 11 1/5. FOSL certainly not as big of a percentage winner on the day as RGC, but a good looking chart, very respectful of the 10 exponential, as you can kind of see there. SSP. This is a VWAP trade. This is a bull flag setup. It's basically putting in higher lows, very much respectful of the volume weighted average price. So we've got a lot to work with here today. QMCO, I'm going to keep going here. 24 or 23.5%. Also very respectful of the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. This one will look really good. BON kind of was doing its thing, trying to take the volume weighted average price. It just since broke down. So we're going to, this one's on thin ice, so to speak. It might lose its side chart status. HMR, you guys were watching this in the morning. Brendo asked Luis Barbado about this one. He's looking at it. HMR continuing to go. It's above the pre-market high. It was running yesterday, so it was a second day play. It's up 50 some odd percent. No, not quite. 46 some odd percent. So another really good one. OPRX, another kind of bull flag, bull pennant kind of looking chart over here with higher highs and higher lows. There's a bull flag up, and then we got an upward channel up 21 1/5. Last but not least, Joseph, this one might lose its spot on the side chart, much like BON. LFWD looked really good. I mean, it was trying to use a volume weighted average price, was putting in higher lows for a little bit. Then all hell broke loose. The shorts got involved, and now this one is trying to hold on for dear life above $2. Those are the 8 we'll be watching. As you know, though, if you've been watching the show, we'll cycle through these as new ones come in and other ones lose their place on side chart. Joseph, we're talking about some tape today, huh?
Yeah, we're going to go over the tape, guys. We did this a while ago, but I think it's really important, especially in this market environment. So we'll go over some key signals that we're going to want to identify, and it's going to lead to some trades that I've taken in the past, and it's definitely going to lead to some trades that I've taken even today on INTC, and we're going to explain that a little bit more, guys. But the time of sales, this skill, this is an art. And I like how Sharif and Katina Man say that trading is an art, because this is, I agree, and this is definitely an art. This takes time, a lot of time, in order to completely understand it and identify what you are looking for. And I'm glad to show you guys, because now, just like volume and price, how we can correlate that, we can now correlate all three of them together. And that's just going to give you more conviction and just more, putting the favors more in on your side. All right, guys. So let's see. The time in sales, also referred to as the tape by many traders, is a real-time display of the current trades being executed. Fairly simple. It shows important information such as the time, the exact time the trade occurred, the price, the exact price at which the trade was executed, and size. Really important. Something that is probably underutilized on the tape is regarding to size. So the number of total lots, shares, or contracts traded, and the trade condition. Also important as well too, whether the trade occurred at the bid, ask, or in between. So these are the key metrics that you want to pay attention to. Time, you can kind of just leave off to the side, right? It doesn't really matter, but there's some different, I don't know how to phrase this, but during the open, you can see that the time of sales will print a different number than what it's currently at, and it's something interesting that I was noticing on Tesla a long time ago. So, understanding the bid and ask. When watching the tape, you're watching real-time transactions, as I stated before. These transactions can take place on multiple levels. So, inside the bid and ask, at and above the ask, and then at and below the bid. The bid is the highest price a buyer is willing to pay for the underlying asset, so take that in. And then the ask is also referred to as the offer, is the lowest price a seller is willing to let go of that underlying asset, okay? So when we say lifting the ask, that means participants are continuing to grab shares higher on the offer and continuing to do so, and then that you'll see that lift the ask gradually, okay? So identifying the prints on the time of sales. So green, basic stuff here, at or above. This is totally subjective. I like to keep it relatively simple. So green is at or above the ask, buyers are aggressive. Red, at or below the bid, sellers are aggressive. And then white and black I use for in between, which is also passive execution and neutral sentiment. So that'll be referring to your limit orders, etc. Buyers in control, large transactions at above the ask, and the ask price keeps getting lifted due to sizes I was just referring to. And I don't keep them the exact same green. That's when you use that gradient type fill. So I'll go a lighter green for at the ask, and then I'll go a darker green for above the ask, and then that way you can tell the difference between the two. So sellers in control, large prints executing at or below the bid, bids continue to get hit, and price continues to move lower, and it's the same thing. Gradient fill here on the bid, guys, a nice lighter red, and then you go darker as we go below. So here, this is a prime example of what we want to look at and how I have mine specifically set up here, guys. So you can see all these orders are getting hit at the bid, and then you can see us push price a little bit lower here as we are below the bid, and the same thing here, we're going at, and then you can see it get lifted, and then that's when we're going to go above the ask. So 10 here, and sorry, as we climb higher, you can see that step down too. So and then here you go in between here, guys, a good picture of in between, so a balanced book. So how to use order flow in your trading system for scalping / intraday trading. Watch for aggressive buying and selling patterns to confirm possible direction of the trade and trend. In breakout and breakdown trades, look for consistent aggression above and below the bid or ask with high levels of volume. For momentum and opening drives, analyze repeated prints in the direction of the momentum. Use custom colored coded time and sales to track which side is in control. Real important. We just went over that. Now, for an example here, guys, you can see the strength within the time of sales. So I want you to focus on this chart on my left-hand side here, guys. So look at this, and then you can see what happens at a specific time, but you can also depict, this is me running through a replay and looking for the strength, okay? So you can see that strength is at the ask, and it flushes, it covers that whole time of sales, and then look what happens precisely about a minute later. We have now traded $2 higher, and that strength is continued in the time of sales, okay? So this is what I want to look for in the beginning, in the opening opening drives and around the volume weighted average price. This decisive signal tells me, hey, the book is strong and sellers are really, really aggressive. People continue to lift the ask, and this is something that I'm looking to identify. You can see within that 1 minute, we traded $2 higher from where this candle opened up. So nice strength there. And then this was the actual trade in itself. So I went back in the replay mode here to grab the tape because I actually took this trade live here on the floor on the day. So you can see that we also went another $2 higher just because of that strength in the tape, okay? Same thing here on the bid, guys. You can see about a minute later as well, we flush lower and then drop another $1.25 or another dollar, whatever it may be. But you see that weakness flush within the tape on the bid side. And then putting everything together here, confirming breakouts. If price breaks above resistance, watch for buyers lifting the ask aggressively. If price breaks below support, watch for sellers smashing the bid, identifying fake breakouts. If price breaks above resistance, but the tape shows weak buying, it's likely a fake breakout. You want to also correlate that with volume. If price breaks below support, but there's weak selling, it may be a bear trap. Bid equals buyers, ask equals sellers. Tape shows who is aggressive. Above the ask equals bullish. Below the bid is bearish. Combine tape reading with price action, and you got yourself some more conviction within the trading, my friend. And that is the lesson of the day. As my guy Sharif says, we hope.
I got
drop
you.
that. There we go. Bang! Prints up multiple storms, my friend.
Multiple storms. Not one storm is not enough. We're going to need multiple there. All right, guys, we're involved in one trade right now. HMR, a 10 exponential pullback on the 5. We just got the beak wet there in the mid 60s, but it is coming back down. It looks like it will break the 10. So I will let this stop me out below the $0.50, but I will be a buyer at 340. That's where the volume weighted average price is. I don't want to DCA into this. I just made a big fat finger over here, and I got in a lot of trouble. So I added about maybe 10 times the shares that I typically add on RGC or get in, and I didn't realize that. So I found myself looking to add, and I was like, what is going on? And then basically, we almost got shut down. That's how many shares I had on this RGC trade. So a bit of a mistake by me on this one, so I'm going to have to trade carefully the rest of the day. Won't be able to take aggressive DCAs like I typically do into my levels. Now, having watched this, obviously it's quite aggravating because now it's popping up. It's about to break 10.5. Right, and I had to, get stopped out at about 920, but that's my mistake. Nobody else is, so we'll do a little bit better next time. RGC certainly is in focus, no question about it, but it's going to have to set up perfectly. This one did breach the 10. It did breach VWAP. It did find support at 9, though. That's where kind of it all bottomed out, and now we're talking about 10.25, 10.5 awfully incoming quite soon here. So good luck. The one that we're on right now is HMR. We're in at the 10 exponential moving average, kind of 2 candle hold here at 355. So if it holds here, fantastic. But if it breaks that $0.50, we're going to cut it, and then we're going to look to get back in at around the volume weighted average price. 340 is where that's showing up on my chart. So we'll see what comes of that. It just popped up into 69. That's where I'm waiting. It didn't cross, sadly, though, 69. There it is. Now we get all the fills to the high side. So pleased with this trade. Let's see if we can take out some more here into the high 70s. I'm talking about HMR, guys, into the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. Let's see if this one wants to run. Back to RGC. It's now halting. You're kidding me, to the upside. No.
You're in it. No. Oh,
no, I'm not. I just finished explaining that. It's all good. Anyway, $11 is where it looks like it's headed there. 11.20 is the high of the day. Currently halted at 10.85 with the top theoretical auction price slowly ascending there from 11.04 now up to 11.10. So buyer exuberance coming in fast and furious, up 158%. What a fantastic look for this one. I'm also looking at FOSL. FOSL, a good kind of like topping rounding pattern up into $1.64. The volume weighted average price kind of either at $1.60, $1.61. I could certainly be a buyer at VWAP here if it does hold. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. I like FOSL on the day. Doesn't look bad. QMCO. This one's a bit spreadier. It's got a great setup. 1474 high a day. Topping tail candle. Comes back down into VWAP. Now we've got a 3 candle setup right now at the volume weighted average price. Normally, I'd be into this right away. But because of what I did on RGC, I'm going to have to really be careful how I get into this specific one because it's very spready. And the cost of doing business, it can cost me 5 pennies a share just by getting in and getting out immediately. That's what the spread is right now. So I'm going to keep my eye on QMCO. I don't mind this one too much, be quite honest with you, but it's going to have to be a money fill. Now, what I've seen on the 5 is the money fills seem to be a little bit south of that volume weighted average price. Case in point, this candle here that manifested at 1105, 1394 high with a low of 1324. And it did technically breach the volume weighted average price, but it was able to close above it by closing about that 13 1/3. So what I'm trying to say uneloquently here, or ineloquently, is that the money fills could be the wicks below the volume weighted average price. That's the good side. The bad side is it's got a 5 candle, if you count this candle of indecision over here, red setup, all with lower lows and lower highs. So, you know, it is kind of looking at catching a falling knife, falling sword, whatever. So we'll see if this one wants to find support at the volume weighted average price. If it does, I am certainly a buyer there. FOSL does seem to be keeping itself above VWAP here, trading at about $1.68. You got 3 candle bottom, all into that 160, one low 60 area. So this could be another one that's holding up right now, FOSL, as we wait for RGC to open back up. That's the big boy of the day, Joseph.
Yeah, so guys, here we go. I don't really love this look here on TSLL. You can see that we have this downtrend line, so we are constructing lower highs, which isn't a positive signal. But one thing I want to note again, and I'll always talk about this here, is the risk to reward, right? So what I'm gonna do, where am I wrong? And I want you guys to answer this in the chat, because I know where I'm gonna be wrong and I know where I'm gonna get out. And that's right at this base right here. So my risk to reward is there, especially if I'm looking for VWAP to be my primary target and run into those levels. So here we go. We can go like this, but then it's like a 1, 2, like almost a 3 or 4 to 1 if I'm using 825 as my base. But what I need is we need to break through this resistance zone here. And you can see we consistently reject it, rejecting it. And you see the weakness with on the time of sale. So not a good look. The one thing I will note is that the SPY and the Qs are running into possible support as well too. So if they decide that they want to take another leg lower, I don't think that's going to be a good look for Tesla. So gonna have to be patient. I do like a bottoming signal on the 1 minute. It is holding up relatively weak, but I just have no confidence in that underlying asset on IBIT to take it off the lows here. And I like what Obi says. It doesn't matter what the plan is. It's all about execution. And am I willing to execute on this trade in IBIT? I don't know. I don't think so right now, because the weakness is there and it's very clear. So these bounces take a little bit of time. I really do want to take this trade, because if we look at it from a different chart standpoint, you can see that we have an outlying isolated volume print with a hammer. This is what we want to look for. So if we were to play the break of 61.30, we're already 5 cents in the money, but it's not overly liquid. I find that it really blows past these signals and it doesn't respect them like an equity would. This is a totally different underlying asset. So gonna be patient. If we get a retest of that level, then maybe I'll hop back in. But one thing to note again is Microsoft, not good for the Qs or the S&P right here, Sharif, because we're continuing to move lower and possibly going to go test 380. Let's see what's going on from a daily standpoint. So giving back all of that rally yesterday, so you can see that we recovered nicely in the market, but now giving back all of those gains, and Microsoft is most definitely participating on that front. So not a good look here for the longs unless we get a bounce off of these support levels.
All right, set up a couple of dip trades here, one at Fossil towards the low end of this consolidation range. I'm waiting at $1.63. Let's see if we can get filled here. It's got a 4 candle horizontal setup, all at that 1 2/3 dollar level. So FOSL up 30%. We'll see if we can get that fill. I'm also waiting for a dip trade here on QMCO. I'm going to have to be really super selective with my fills today, so I may or may not get them. So we'll see. This one did dip down into my my entry there. I was waiting at 13 and 1230, and now it's leaving. It's going away. It's popping back up off the volume-weighted average prices. It looks like it's up into 1375, so unlikely to get the fill on that bad boy. A little disappointed with that, but we're going to have to trade carefully. This bad boy right now, RGC, the one that I had the fat finger on, is on one right now. What a move up into 12 and a quarter. There was a dip trade possible here, but I couldn't take it again because of the mistake that I made. Right into $11. $11 was a previous area of resistance, right? And so we're looking for it to be support this time around. Well, that's exactly what it did. Gapped up. It opened up at 1120, popped up all the way into 12 and change, dipped right back down, right into that $11 area, and that was the money fill. And now we're trading at 12 with a new high of day at 1240. So good strength right now on RGC. We're going to have to wait to see whether or not this one can keep going. I won't be trading this one likely. I'll cover it for you guys because it's the best one, but yeah, we're going to have to be careful with this one. HMR coming right back down. So we did get that fill at 75. It did pop up for a possible fill at 79s, but I was waiting at 82s. So we're going to have to wait on that bad boy. Oops. Yes, and then the other one, fossil, no fill there. Unlikely to get any fill right now on QMCO. We're going to have to cancel that as it does bounce off the up. This one's still putting in lower highs, though, so do be careful with QMCO. And the spread is quite prohibitive on this one right now. It's about 14 pennies. 14 pennies on a $13 name is a little wide, so just the cost of doing business might run a little bit too much there for some people's blood. SSP as well. Didn't mention this one from the jump, but it is putting in a respectable pattern, man, especially certainly on the 5. Doesn't have a whole lot of volume behind it on a $2.75 name. It's only done 5 2/3 million shares on the day, but what it does have is a very consistent higher low, higher high pattern, which I do like. So if you want, this one could be an interesting one off the lower end of the trend line there to shadow that upward channel. Currently, the lower end takes you about to 265. That's about 11 pennies south of where we're currently trading. So that could be an interesting dip trade there. The other dip trade that I've been waiting for on FOSL, still going unfilled, still waiting at the thrifty price of $1.63. It's showing me $1.64 on the bid. The bid side of things. All right, back into HMR over here. There we go. Now we're popping up and taking out levels. So we get the fill at 82. And now the next level I'll be waiting for is that high day break, which is currently 390 on the daily. So be keeping an eye out on that. So that's it. That's all I've got. I've got the dip trade on FOSL. I did have a dip trade on QMCO, but I took that bad boy off because it's kind of getting away from me there. But this one's going to haunt me for many a year. RGC, the way that it kind of popped up after I got out. It breaks my heart.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's fine.
I know. We're strong. We'll get over it. We're strong. Okay, but here we go, guys. Starting to work in on TSLL. Starting a nice little rebound, a nice bounce here in the market, guys, off of these support level lows. Hopefully this move can be sustained and we can continue and maybe go and test the volume weighted average price once again here. But you can see that we rejected it on the 1 minute time frame and then continued to the south side. So hopefully this downward trend doesn't stay intact. But if we were to go to a higher time frame, you can see on the 5 minute we are down 4% on Tesla. So we need to be wary of this really strong opening drive to the downside, I should say. And then if you're an orb trader, then look at that crack of it, and then you continue, and then we get that isolated volume signature, and then that's when we get that rebound. So hopefully, if this level holds, see, we are constructing higher lows, which is a positive sign. But in order for us to get to VWAP, we're going to need the market to rip, and it doesn't look like it wants to do so. I'm really kicking myself here because this IBIT trade was working out, maybe not so much right now, but on the 1 minute, excuse me, on the 1 minute you can see that not very distinctive here, but you can see that isolated volume, and then a nice, if you play the break of that, then you're giving yourself a nice 20-30 cents right there on that move higher. So that train has already left the station, so not going to chase it up there. We're going to continue to monitor Tesla via TSLL. We are 1 for 1 on Tesla on the day and 2 for 2 on trades because we traded INTC and TSLL. So let's let's see if we can make it 3 for 3 because this is a whole different entry here. So going to be patient. I wouldn't mind if SPY held these lows, but it doesn't look like it wants to. With that being said, guys, let's take a look at the options chain. And we do have an options question that I'm going to go over as well too. Going to go over here shortly as well. So we're going to pull up the queues and we're going to wait for it to load and see where we have the highest levels of open interest on this expiration cycle, guys, but that would be at 0 DTE. And it's kind of balanced. I mean, 470 in the works here on the queues, but you can see that we bounced off it recently. So hopefully we can get a little bit of support type price action here at this level. So right at 470, we had 470.14 was the low on the queue. So that is where you have the most levels of open interest. As for the options question, let's pull that up here. So Sharif, Joe, this is from Eduardo Lindenmeyer. Is there such thing of buying a call option for a put option? I guess that's what happened with Tesla after Trump got elected. Market makers made a ton of money. Is there such thing as buying a call option for a put option? Yeah, I mean, that would be, you can hedge it, right? Like, that's what a hedge would be. So if you think that there's going to be some more topside price action in when you buy that put, then you can buy one. But you also just pin yourself at the exact same time. Ooh. So yeah, not necessarily the ideal thing to do. I know trader, you can do the inverse of that, buy a put with a call or whatever it may be, a call with a put, but not necessarily the best thing because you do kind of pin that type of price action. It leaves you stagnant, right? So you can lock in gains on both ends of the trade, but yeah, not necessarily something I would do. We got out of Tesla here, Sharif. It broke through the lows, so we're going to look for another entry.
All right, I'm involved right now like a psycho back with RGC, but no, I'm not a psycho. I actually did quite well on this one. Got in, where did I get in at? 20s, wet the beak there at 69s. Now I'm going to wait for a $12 break. So I've moved my stop a little bit below 11. If we dip below 11, I'll get stopped out. I only got one more out on this bad boy. Definitely still red on it because of what I did down here, or the fat finger, with many, many more shares than what I took up here. And that's just kind of the nature of the beast. So we'll see if we can kind of get out of Redsville a little bit, but it's going to be a hard row. Anyway, so anything below 11, I'm done my RGC trade, where it's going to either print me at 12 and a quarter or I get stopped out below 11. Currently, the gap that hasn't been filled yet, it could get filled. I'm talking about this gap right here from the halt level at 1085 to the open level. Well, it did fill 1120, but the closing prints are all still above that 1120 area. We shall see. There it is. It's coming right back down 11. Does it meet? Is it being met with any buying? A little bit. Still definitely at that level, so we'll get stopped out for the last remaining amount. But still, this little dance over here was profitable. Still negative, sadly, on the name, though. HMR. Are we done this print? No, we're still involved. So we haven't set up any beak wetters on this one. So HMR, we're still involved at 62s. Let's see if we can get something in the 90s. Currently, the high is 90. So I'm going to wait at the lofty area of 93. We'll see if we can get anything in and around there. Still going unfilled on FOSL. It doesn't matter how long I keep my order there. There does seem to be a buyer for whatever reason at this $1.63. Now, I'm not quick to jump into this just because there's a buyer here. Let me explain why. It's still putting in lower highs. So each and every successive candle on the 5-minute since 11 o'clock has been lower than its predecessor. So despite the fact that there is a buyer at this $1.63, $1.64, we're still getting more negative pressure from the top side than we are from the downside. So a bit of a tougher look on that one. So we'll see exactly what we get there. Keeping an eye on HMR as it pops right back into that 80 area. I like this one the best, and not because I'm profitable on it. I swear that's not the reason. It's because it's putting aggressively higher lows in, and it looks like it might flat top break through 390. So let's not, count our chickens before they, or our chicks before they hatch. But the point is, if you're looking for a discernible pattern that's more bullish than bearish, HMR seems to be the one with higher lows and that flat top. Now, I did get forced out of this one. I typically wouldn't have had my stop above the halt level, but I had to here because of what I did on this one earlier. And anyway, it pops up back above 11. If this sets up again, I'm talking about RGC, we'll get right back involved. No worries about that. Here we go. HMR popping up into local highs, being met with selling, but it did pop up into 87s. So now we're waiting at 93s, and what I'm specifically looking for is a flat top break through 90. Now, I'm I'm asking myself this. I know nobody's asking me, but I'm going to ask myself. Why am I not adding into HMR on the dips if it is respecting the 10 exponential by putting in higher lows? That's exactly what I'm going to do, even though today is probably not a day to do it because I was close to getting shut down. I'm going to put a dip trade at 72s. Okay, we're going to set that up just so we can get the good habit involved over here. Let's set that up at 72s. And the idea here is to add on the dips if it is putting in higher lows, not necessarily higher highs because we have that flat top at 390, but the higher lows is what's operative in my opinion. So I'm putting a dip trade at that 10 exponential moving average for a dip and then hopefully a pop. So that's what I'm looking at right now. HMR, FOSL still unfilled there. But I did see my main man, Big Smile Burdette. Big Smile now, known as he is now in the chat, 499 Super Chat. I got a question. When Tesla moon? I don't know what that means, bro. I'm not even going to try to figure out what that means. You want to speak to me in English? We'll have a conversation in English, but I have no idea what the hell that means. Let me know exactly what you want there, Big Smile. What do you got?
So we got a good question here. Sharif and Joe, let me know yours and Joe's thoughts on BTC. Should I buy now or wait for more downside? Okay, I like this question, okay? Not because of the underlying asset, but what you're referring to is you want to allocate an asset, okay? But let's say you have $2,000. When you say, hey, Joe, I want to buy this, you don't go, hey, okay, I want to buy, I only have $2,000, and then the first time you buy it, you put in all of that $2,000. No, that's not ideal. That's not what you want to do, especially when the downtrend when the trend is to the downside, right? So what I would say to you, if you want to acquire Bitcoin, put aside whatever amount of capital you're looking to do so, and then break that up into fifths, into quarters, whatever it may be, into thirds, right? And then slowly build into it, especially if you're looking for a longer term play. So if you were to get in now, go 10, 20%. You're looking to allocate some 10, 20%. If it dips lower, buy another 10, 20%. If it dips lower, buy another 10, 20%. And even if it starts to work out, once the trade starts working for you, even add into a working trade, okay? And that, you guys see me do that all the time with, I didn't do it here in INTC, but you can see on TSLA, yes, let's go, Sharif. You can see here in Tesla is that, okay, I'm not averaging down, I'm averaging into winners, free rolling. I'm using my unrealized gains to acquire more shares, okay? And then it also lifts your stop, but instead of me adding down here and then continuing to take the stocks continuing to move lower, then I take like a 2 risk unit. But here, if I'm getting in here, I'm at half risk, now I'm at full risk, but now I can go into the middle of this range and then still stop out break even when the trade is profitable. So if you're looking to acquire something, don't go all in at once. And that's just my 2 cents from experience. I don't know how you feel about that, Sharif, but I'm not gonna, if I want to buy something, I'm not buying it all at one time.
No, I never do that. I gotta 100% agree with that. Yeah, well, it is doing something. It's moving down. Yeah. So here's the deal. I'm quite happy with this trade. Started out really bad, but here we go. We're going to spend the money on this one. We take out the high day. We're talking. I thought I thought I only had a few more shares left. Looks like I had more on. So we take out that $4 level HMR, baby. Literally at the bottom of the pullback there. Very pleased with this trade. Let's set up some more orders. They're going to go on the north side of 4. And if I get stopped out, I get stopped out. But I'm gonna be lofty in my expectations. I'm gonna wait at 411, kind of a random level, but I'm a random guy, so we're just gonna leave it like that. That Eduardo guy, following on with the question that he put about options. Can I just read this?
Yeah.
What I meant is in October last year, when Tesla was $230, to buy a call option, to buy a put option in December, I don't know what this means, brother.
Yeah, that's the thing.
To buy and call option, to buy a put option in December 2024 was $470 for target at $240 expiring March. Eduardo, brother, I don't mean to be mean, but I really don't understand. Maybe if somebody understands it in the chat, they can kind of explain that. I personally don't know what you mean by that. I'd love to help. Joseph obviously wants to help as well. He's Joey Options for a reason, but I kind of don't get it. Yeah. Just tag me again, Eduardo. Maybe phrase it a little differently. We're absolutely willing to help, my man. All right, here we go. HMR at 4. Big boy size at 4 over here. So we've got several hundred lots. It looks like a bit more, about 1,000 or so lots there at 4. That's what we can see, baby. We don't know what's hidden behind there with the hidden sellers, especially at these areas of the whole dollar on the small cap gappers. That's typically where they like to hang out. 99s, 98s, whole dollars. You get it in and around that whole dollar, both as support and resistance. So right now we've got exactly a $4 high day. We're long 62s, and I'm waiting at 411. There's 4 again. We're eating away at that size. There's a 407 spike. It's going to spike down now, guys. That's just the way it works. You get a big pop up and then a bigger move down. Here we go. Now it's showing me 8s, and then it's going to come back down again. I'm waiting at 11s. Could have got printed at 10. Didn't get printed at 10. That's fine. I'll just continue to wait. Very, very happy with this trade, whether I get printed to the top side or not. This is what I really want to do when I execute in this fashion. The only thing that I would have done differently is I didn't add into my positions on the dips. That is what I need to improve with, despite the fact that I've got that resting order there at the level. So HMR in focus, really liking this one. Now, let's focus on the next trade. As the OB, he is the one Kenobi always says. FOSL, kind of a bamboozler here. I was waxing poetic, using a dare term, that this one was putting in lower highs with that support at $1.64. Well, guess what? That lower high situation all ended with the closing of this candle right here, right at 11:30. Now it's putting in higher lows and higher highs. So do I feel this one might pop back up? Sure I do. And is it close enough to that support level that if it breaks it, I know I'm wrong? The answer to that is yes. So I see VWAP at $1.61 to $1.62. We're currently showing $1.66. I don't expect FOSL to trade in the same way as HMR because, well, this one's definitely a lot slower with a lot less volume. So I don't expect any parabolic behaviors above 74. So here's the deal. We're going to add, and as Joseph was just saying here, you don't get in all at once unless you know you're feeling quite dangerous. So what we're going to do, we're in at 66, and I'm going to defend into that 62 penny level. And then if it breaks 62, I know I'm wrong. And I'm good. So we'll sit with that. So where do we get in? We got it at 66, so we're going to layer at 64, and then again at 62. See if we can get any prints there. And then I've put the beak wetter at 69s, obviously. And then we'll see if we can get anything in and around that level. Now we're going to throw some more beak wetters as well. I'm going to go ahead here and wait at 72s. What's our price now? 65s. So we're 1 penny out of the money. Let's see exactly what we can get there, and then we'll report back on that. There goes HMR continuing to go after my exit there. Now, this one's really squeezing, guys. So RGC is the #1 bad boy on the day, up 155%. There you go, Koi. You asked me if there were any bad boys. You got a bad boy right there. RGC breaking down now, Joseph. So it looks like HMR is the biggest and the baddest one on the block at the moment, but this could all change because we just VWAP dipped on RGC. And look at that gnarly looking hammer candle, baby. Right into 10, now back up into 1065. This one's a mad one. Trade it carefully. It's a gnarly way, bro. Get it, Chilean Nightmare. By the way,
why?
I told Fabian, I went out for dinner on Sunday and I had Chilean food. Bang. And I don't know the name of it. I feel like you're right in front of me right now, brother. No, I don't know the name of the dish that I had, but it was excellent. It was all raw seafood, and it was all super salty. I can't hear you, brother.
Oh, ceviche.
Ceviche, yes.
Is that what it is?
Exactly what I was. There's my guy. I say less. Fabian comes on. He understands what I'm talking about. But Fabian, it was really, really salty. That's the point of the whole thing, or was it done poorly? It should be more lemony. Yeah, I don't know if they did it all that well. Hence why I was not here on Monday. So, you only eat it at home. Well, I don't know, brother. I was in a restaurant in Markham, and it was a Chilean restaurant. So
and that's why you weren't here on Monday.
Yeah.
Oh no.
My stomach didn't jive with that.
Oh no.
It was good protein, Joseph.
Well, it's all gone. It was all gone after.
But yeah, sadly. About that.
That's right. Yeah, we're like, dude, I don't even know what to say here, Shreve, because this market is continuing to take legs lower and lower, and you're not getting that bounce. Just talking about the market staying irrational longer than you can probably stay sane, which isn't a good one. I mentioned 210. on Apple, right, as a potential target to hit because we have the highest levels of open interest during this week's expiration cycle, and it's coming into fruition. We're now trading at 212.87, and if it continues this downward momentum, it's going to drag everything with it, and it seems to be doing so right now. Amazon at the low a day, Apple at the low a day, Bitcoin continuing to put in lows, NVDA hovering around VWAP, which isn't a horrible I see that too. I see that super chat. Yeah, Ali and
That's
War.
hilarious,
That
bro.
is the real Chilean nightmare.
And it's a Canadian super chat too, so we're gonna have to show those guys.
Shout out Canada. Yeah, there we go. Maybe in the East Coast, West Coast, we don't know. But here we go, guys. Continuing this momentum to the downside, not a good look. One thing that I will note that it can be positive here in Tesla is. Oh, sorry, am I not tapped in there? Okay, no, yeah, we're gonna send it off to Adair. We'll talk about Tesla shortly.
We have some comments coming here from Vladimir Putin. Nothing market moving, but I do want to let you guys know here, there's a Microsoft headline. This one also not market moving. Microsoft's now at yesterday's lows, but it is worth noting, I think, Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, posting on X that apparently the new Copilot AI for gaming allows you to jump back in games faster with real-time coaching. So Copilot AI update here being announced by Satya Nadella of Microsoft. Back to you.
For that, Adair. Yeah, just back to my Tesla thought here, guys. I think this is really important to know. Execution is really key, but you also have to be robotic at the same time, Steve. And what I was about to get at here is that I shouldn't have any emotion towards this position. If the signals display themselves, I should just get in. But I shouldn't deserve a clap because I did.
No, you get a slow clap.
Because I didn't get in, and I'm thinking this to myself. I'm like, it doesn't matter how I specifically feel. Be a computer, be emotionless, and get in the trade. And I didn't do that, and I should have got in exactly when I was supposed to. We talk about bottoming signals. We took it earlier this morning, and the chance of it coming into play again are extremely high. So I missed my entry. The trade is now moving in my favor. When I got in, I didn't. I was thinking, hey, I'm too tentative, and I wasn't being objective. I had that subjective mindset, like, oh, I don't want to lose my P&L or anything along those lines. Instead of Sharif, I should have just got in the trade because the signals told me to do so, and I didn't abide by those rules. And look what happens when you don't execute when you're supposed to.
Eduardo chimed in again over here. He's like, understand it's complicated. Options are derivatives. Yes, of course. In theory, there could be a second derivative, meaning someone could take the other side of this bet. Doesn't the market maker take the other side of the bet?
Yeah, usually another participant will take the other side of the trade,
Interesting,
right?
okay.
So, yeah, I don't really understand what his question is, to be honest with you.
So put it all together, Eduardo, because thank you for explaining that with what you're meaning. But throw the whole thing in there together. Eduardo will give you an opinion on that quick as you like. All right, guys, I built my position here in FOSL. Still this one at $1.62. That order went unfilled. I'm waiting at 67s, 69s, and then 72s. Looking for this one to hold the volume weighted average price. It has been doing this consolidative dance since dropping down into VWAP at 11.05. We are now almost 11.45. I'm not saying that this one is definitely going to hold VWAP. What I am saying is that the data shows me that it is likely to, or someone is buying it in and around VWAP. Does that mean someone continues to buy it forever and ever more? No. Clearly that is not the case, but I'm putting the odds on my side. That's really the best I can do, is just to try to take the best trade. So now it's showing me 67s here on the ask. That's where I was waiting. It didn't print me there quite yet. I love how you guys are all talking about ceviche. Yeah, apparently it started in Peru, and then there's also different, there's Mexican versions of ceviche as well. Every coastal country has their own version, says Fabian, the real Chilean nightmare. Adara, what's up?
Just keep an eye here on the market. We did get a little bit of a pop here. Usually these pops happen a minute or so before we get the news. The news just came in. We have Vladimir Putin of Russia saying that Russia is agreeing to a temporary ceasefire, saying that they agree to stop fighting in the Ukraine, but this should lead to long-standing peace. So they want long-term peace, but in the meantime, they have agreed to a temporary ceasefire with regards to the situation in the Ukraine. So ceasefire update here for Russia and Ukraine. Watch the markets. We did get a little bit of a pop on that, though we've already given some of that pop back. Back to you.
I agree with you. Slightly frustrating. So maybe we'll get in at a pullback if the market wants to continue this rally. You see this pop here on that news, guys. So a positive sign. When was the last time you had a poutine, Sharif? I don't even know. It's probably been a while for you.
Poutine?
Yeah, poutine. You never had one in years, probably.
Years, Joseph.
You're lying to me. Oh, my days. Anyways, guys, yeah, Oscarito, it's just frustrating, right? When you're supposed to execute and you're not, even though we are pulling back some right now, maybe we'll be able to get in, but every pop just gets faded in this market here, guys. So you can see that we also ran into this resistance zone, so we used all of our power. We got exhausted as soon as we ran through that into that level, and then sellers stepped right back in. So those algos hitting that stuff. I mean, I told you guys I'm a big poutine guy. When it's time, when I come back from vacation, I get a KFC poutine with the chicken gravy and stuff. Yeah, that's it. S&P. Let's see what 2NY S&P has been weak for the most of 2025, mostly due to tech stocks. But it's time to shift away from S&P until things change. Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? It's so hard to gauge it. You're down 10% in the S&P 2NY, and you're waiting for that oversold bounce. And it's like, at what point is it going to happen? It may not happen when you expect it to. The chances are the market will take significantly longer than what you anticipate. So just be prepared for that. If we think like, oh, okay, yeah, we've been selling for a month or so, the market will take longer, and it'll get ready to bounce whenever it feels, whenever it pleases. But I'm gonna hold on to this. I do like this bottoming signal in Tesla, guys. We got a little bit of a pullback. The thing is, though, my risk to reward is gonna be skewed. I'm gonna hop into it because you can see on the pullback volume has dwindled, and that's something that you want to look out for. So we'll pop in small size. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. I should have been in at 8.11, but we're 10 cents higher here. So we'll start this one slow. Hopefully this market can start to recover. Amazon starting to get a little bit of a pop here. Positive sign if these mag names want to move. NVDA still hovering around the volume weighted average price, looking like it might want to go and test those lows. You can see that we're just trading within a channel here, guys. So the top half of the channel, the bottom half of the channel right here. So let's see if we can get out of that. But for today, it just seems to be like, hey, buy the top of the channel or sell the top of the channel. Sorry, and then buy the bottom of it. So let's see if we can break out of that moving sideways. But that is also a good signal for price to possibly turn around too. I mentioned that earlier in the day, that if you just see this sideways type price action, you can kind of get a rounded bottom and then maybe a pull back to the top side for a liquidity grab. And then if you're long or stuck in some of the long, you can reduce some of those losses and just get out of the position tree.
Brian Gibson, I'm from California, San Diego, to be exact. I had the best ceviche in Colombia, Cartagena. By the way, best Latin American trip of my life was Cartagena. That was one of my best friend's sister's weddings there, and so we were part of the wedding party. Amazing coastal city, amazing party city, and Colombia is a hell of a country. If you guys are interested in any sort of, say it again, Fabian? Oh, there's more poutine news. Tell us about the poutine news, Adara.
Gladly, Sharif. So we just had there Vladimir Putin saying he'd be open to a temporary, or I guess at least a ceasefire here. Now he's saying that there's questions about the ceasefire, saying if there is a ceasefire, it's not really clear how the situation will develop, and that he has some questions. So almost right after here, making some comments suggesting that he would be okay with the ceasefire if it leads to long-term, I guess, peace. Now he's actually saying there's some questions. So do we have a ceasefire? It is unclear, though. Vladimir Putin said he'd be open to a 30-day ceasefire, provided long-term peace is on the table. If we have any more updates on this ongoing story in these comments, I will absolutely let you guys know.
Off-putting.
Yeah.
My mistake.
That's all right.
We're just having a conversation.
What a boys' trip.
Nothing to ask over here, guys. All right, no way Colombia, says Anton. All right, guys, let's get back into the trading focus over here. Thank you for that, by the way, Adara. I really appreciate that. Keep us up to date on the status of the poutine. So we'll keep you guys apprised, no problem. HMR continues to go, guys. It makes my trade look so bad when they do this, right? I mean, It is on one right now. You kind of felt that that was going to be the case. What made me feel this way was the higher lows, not necessarily the higher highs, but the higher lows for that flat top break. That is what we call an ascending wedge. And the ascending wedge is best and most probable setup is when it's preceded by an uptrend. And that's exactly what you got here. You've been getting that big boy uptrend since basically the bell rung. 9:30 onwards, this was the longest consolidation pullback of the flag. And then boom goes the dang dynamite. So fantastic look right now for HMR. How do you trade this? Well, it's getting really pulled away from the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. And if you've been watching the show for a little while, you'll know that I use this 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart as an informal gauge of overbought conditions. When the price action gets far too distant, gets away from the 10 exponential, which is currently showing me 408, the price is 467, I tend to feel that it is a little oversold and I wait for it to come back in. Now, I don't always do that. Sometimes I'll punch into strength, especially if I can see a big buyer moving up with me on the level 2. If you don't know what I mean by that, so this over here, this blue part of the screen, this is the level 2. And so when we're moving up in price, if I see a big buy order on the left side of that, so this is the bid, that's the ask. If I see a big buy order moving up with me, I'll feel more comfortable adding. And the reason I do that, or the reason I feel that way, is because, well, there's a big buy order there. So unless they're spoofing, meaning that they don't intend that offer to get filled, that big buy order will, at least for the moment, help backstop me against a big sell order that comes down. So that's kind of my thinking there. So when you see big buy orders moving up with you with the price action, it kind of gives you a bit more confidence that the price, you know, even if it was to be met with some selling, at least it gets stopped for a moment, if not, you know, if completely at that big boy buy level. So I don't see anybody moving up with me right now in terms of buy orders. Now that can mean people are coming in, you know, live with live orders like we're doing right now. They're not putting resting orders on the exchange, or they're hiding their order. In any event, we topped out there at 480. We're moving back down into 4.5. Let's see if the $0.50 here acts as any sort of discernible support. I'm talking about that $4.50 area on HMR, which is now up 78% and change. If the $0.50 shows itself to be a support level, could be an interesting look. But right now, what I see on the 5-minute chart is an inverse hammer candle, a topping tail candle of sorts. That is not the end of the matter for the stock. We've seen this story before where we get these topping tail candles at the top only for them to pull back in, consolidate for maybe 10, 15 minutes, if not less, and then make their way right back up. So HMR is the biggest, it's the baddest in my opinion, despite the fact that it's lower percentage-wise than RGC. I will be very much fixated on this, especially at that $4 level. So it is losing the $0.50 right now, albeit by like a penny or two. Let's see if the $0.50 acts as support. If it doesn't, I'm going to be all eyes and ears, and every other perception organ that I have in my body at that $4 level or a little bit above it at 405. I'm looking at my side chart over here where the 10 exponential is hanging out. So that's what I'm seeing right now, guys. What else are you guys looking at? Anybody got any other small cap gappers? Let me know, tag me. But there's a couple of conditions. They got to be above VWAP. They got to be above the pre-market high, and ideally, they should be above $1. I really hate trading these ones south of $1 because of all the different levels, Joseph, that you can post sell orders at. It kind of keeps everything down a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know, guys. A couple pops here, and I'm just like looking at the technicals of this trade, and it's like, why am I trying to buy into resistance and then getting frustrated that it sells off, right? What else do you expect, especially when this name is weak, down 5%? So see you later, all of yesterday's gains. Not going to be getting out of this name anytime soon in the long term, it seems. So yeah, a little bit tougher of a look there, guys. I'm not going to try any more attempts off the bottom, especially with the market being really weak. I want to start participating to the short side. And what I want to short here, that's possibly NVDA. If we want to continue this downward momentum, then we might be able to crack through this support level. You can see we're holding pre-market zones here and then looking for the break of the zone and then head to the possibly lower day. Let's pull up the options chain to see if we got any high levels of open interest to the downside. Let's see what we got going on. NVDA. So, yeah, let's see. Okay, 13,000 at 112. That's something that 21,000 at 115 to the put side. So we'll take that in. That's where we're sitting at right now. Yeah, 13,112. I was thinking that the Qs were going to hold 470. Doesn't seem to be the case. Apple continuing to move lower. I told you 210 is going to be in the works relatively soon here, guys. Like the issue is that like, okay, I can keep buying these lows here. Like this isn't a bad entry, but the issue is that like, okay, I have to risk the low of the zone, but then my risk reward isn't there because you have to take it out. You have to take it off as you tap into this downtrend, right? So, yeah, not a good look. Bitcoin not finding a bottom whatsoever now, trading at 45.9. Yeah, this market is continuing to bleed here, guys. Let's pull up the key. Okay, let's pull up the Qs here on the daily, and looking like we're gonna break here 466. Let's see what Adara's up to.
Keep an eye here on Apple. This one's plunging into low of days, set for now its fourth straight red day. We have some commentary coming from Ming-Chi Kuo, noted supply chain analyst, often posting about Apple as of late. He said that he's consistently held a cautious view of how much Apple Intelligent would boost iPhone shipments, saying that he's been arguing that the market's been too bullish on these 2025 shipments and saying the market consensus has shifted to a more cautious stance. So he's basically been saying that, more or less that he called it, we are seeing this weakness here and the fact that the Apple Intelligence is not really boosting these iPhone sales as people might have expected. So AAPL nicely into low of days. Big push to the downside for this name as Ming-Chi Kuo just confirms that it does not look good for iPhone shipments, specifically with regards to this Apple Intelligence. Back to you.
For that, Adira, and we were talking about Apple quite often today. You can see that it's continuing to bleed, a hefty haircut in some of these names. So breaking through that key support level that we were looking at, 196, is definitely going to be in the works, it seems, even though we are trading at 212. But with just this momentum, it's going to be hard to turn this ship around now. Down 20% off of those all-time highs. 260 was the high. Now a hefty haircut all the way down to 211 or so. So yeah, again, we can talk about.
Start panicking now?
Yeah, well, I don't know about that, Sharif. You could. Yeah, I honestly don't even know what to say. Like, it just dwindling into the unrealized. I looked at the long term this morning, and I'm like, am I at the point where I'm just willing to cut everything? But sure enough, if I cut it, then we're going to get that oversold bounce that I'm looking for. But it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 consecutive red days of multiple percentage down to the downside here on Apple. I told you, watch out for each isolated pivot. So you can see that we now broke through that. What is the next level possibly going to be? It's a trap. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to sell at the lows. And that's the thing. You're going to have to sit through some pain, unfortunately, to wait for that bounce. It will come, but it may not come when we're expecting it.
Yes, sir. All right. So we're in FOSL. We got the ad into 62. It's now up to 66s. That's actually where I'm waiting for my first beak wetter. It's not forthcoming quite yet, but I didn't expect it to be that way. It is a bit of a slow mover. So we're going to have to see, because this one is still, feels like it's still putting in lower highs. So I'm a little concerned with this one. I'll see if I can de-risk a little bit at 66s, and then maybe we can talk after that. But I'm keeping my eye on it. There is kind of what I'm talking about here on HMR. Topping tail candle, like we talked about, when these type of stocks get a little away from the 10 exponential moving average, and I don't have a formula to give you like this percentage away or this many pennies away or whatever, any other kind of formulistic approach. It is a more of a feel, and that's why we always say art, not science. In any event, it is coming right back down. Let's see if it holds up at 4. That's where I'm looking to pick this up. So we were involved with this one at 362. We got out at 411. Now it is clearing to the downside. Certain support levels. I'm talking about that $0.50, the $0.25 is incoming as well. So we'll see if we can get into that 10 penny area where the 10 exponential is hanging out. That's exactly where I'm going to wait on this one. So we're going to go ahead and wait at 411. The exact same area we got out. We're going to look to get back in. Now I'm going to have to give this ideally into the top end of the range. So it was $4 that gave us a whole lot of trouble. No, it wasn't $4 that gave us trouble. We blew through for no problem. It was that 390 area that gave us trouble. So I will have to give it to 390. We'll see what comes of this one. I don't mind getting right back in. It's still trading above the 10 exponential moving average, showing its strength despite the fact that it had a topping tail candle in the 40. Thanks for that, Rob. Appreciate it. I don't know how we got into that, though. I'd like to be able to figure that out. On the new Fire Stick. They put a Fire Stick for us. They took away the computer there.
All right. Nice.
Shout out to Brendo.
Shout out to Brendo.
All right, here we go. Right back into FOSL. Still at 66s. Still no Phil Joseph. Looks like I am last in priority right now on that bad boy because I've been waiting for a hot minute at that 166 area. Still now waiting on HMR. I like for this one to come back into 4. So I'm not going to try to front run that 10 exponential. I will be quite insistent that it either come into my area or I don't take the trade. That's how we're going to manage risk today. SSP, I kind of talked about this one. Where's it at? Yep, there we go. So this one cleared up into 282. It is putting in higher lows. Now, where do we pick it up from? This one is also kind of like FOSL in the sense that it's a slow mover, but a predictable pattern. There's a lot similar between SSP and FOSL. Higher lows, higher highs, but above that VWAP level and trying to stay above VWAP is kind of what I'm looking at there. I don't want to be quick to jump into this, but I will put some dip trades in the low 60s to see if we can extract a possible trade on this one. So that's what I'll do on FOSL. We'll see what comes of that. Yeah, still nothing on SSP, excuse me, not FOSL. All right, I think we got a super chat there. Ooh. Oh, there we go. Red $2 Canadian super chat. Will a shutdown panic markets lower, y'all think? A shutdown. Oh, the government shutdown you're talking about. Yeah, interesting look today. So here's the deal. I didn't really update myself on this one after like 6 a.m. when I heard the headlines on Squawk Box in the morning. But apparently the House has passed a funding bill. It now finds its way to the Senate. Senate Democrats have made it very clear that they don't want the government funding bill to go ahead, and so they're not going to vote for it. Now, apparently a money bill definitely, I think, fact check me on this chat, because we're not American, obviously. I think it needs 2/3 or something like that. It needs 2/3 of the Senate to go through if it's a money bill. So they don't have the votes on the Democratic side, so it probably has to go back to the House for a rewriting. The House is not in session. Apparently, the representatives, the House members are gone. So even though the Senate is in session, the House isn't. And that causes all sorts of problems of getting a new funding bill in time. This is such an American problem that you guys have. We don't have that here, and I've never encountered it with another country. But I guess that's the business of checks and balances there. Adara, what's happening now?
I'll tell you what's happening now, Sharif. Here, the market is near Tuesday's lows. Here's the S&P 500 near Tuesday's lows, down more than 1%. NASDAQ down 1.5%. And apparently, according to Bespoke, this is the 16th straight day that the NASDAQ or the QQQs have had a intraday drop of more than 1%. So 16th straight day of at least a 1% intraday drop for the NASDAQ. That doesn't mean we closed, of course, down in the day, but it means that at one point during the day, the market had a 1% tank. So something to be aware of here. Pretty interesting stuff. Definitely a lot of weakness coming into this market. And this 15-minute chart, much like what we saw with the SPY, getting near these Tuesday lows for the Qs. This comes despite actually really strong start today, much like what we saw with CPI yesterday. Today's PPI print coming in better than expected here, lower than expected PPI for year over year and month over month, both normal and core. And also ceasefire talks now on watch. We do have comments coming in from Vladimir Putin suggesting that he could potentially be amenable to a ceasefire, assuming that it leads to long-term peace. But he does have some questions as well about the current state of things. So here's Apple. Apple currently bouncing off lows, but certainly tanking 2 days lows today. AAPL on watch after Ming-Chi Kuo posted a note saying that their iPhone shipments are not looking great thus far for 2025. AI, I guess Apple Intelligence did not boost this the way people were expecting. Now coming back lower. Then we have Adobe. Adobe trying to bounce right now here, but ATPE is a day one earnings ticker. This one did beat for EPS and sales, but their guidance is a bit lackluster both for the fiscal year and the quarter. So ADBE on watch, as is Apple. And it's worth noting pretty much all of these Mag 7s here are at or near day's lows with the exception of NVIDIA, Meta, Google, Amazon, Microsoft, Apple, and Tesla all near their lows of the day. Back to you.
What do you think about this Trump headline with Binance?
But yeah, I heard it a little bit. So what is he thinking about teaming up with Binance or something?
Sir, what's that, Adira?
CZ said it is fake.
It's fake. Well, according to CZ, well, they should tell Yahoo Finance that because they've got a story on it.
CZ's not even the CEO anymore.
He's not the
Yeah,
CEO.
exactly. So we'll see you later.
Is he a criminal now?
Yeah, he's a bona fide. So don't listen.
How much did he have to pay?
A lot.
$4 billion?
Yeah, a lot.
Oh, no.
Yeah, CZ.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that before we continue?
Yeah, I mean, what is this guy's? I don't know, man. It's Trump. He's gonna do what he wants. He's gonna do Trump things. He's gonna tweet a lot. He's gonna come on the mic, probably say a lot of things he doesn't necessarily have to. Is he gonna team up with Binance? Probably not. You never know. But yeah.
Are you surprised though? Trump coin before the election. I'm good with Donald Trump. I want to make that very clear, but I didn't like that.
The CZ
the meme
thing?
coin.
The meme? No, the meme coin. Yeah, no, absolutely. No, what? Like that, dude, that should be borderline criminal, in my opinion. Like, why are you going to do that? What does it even
look bad?
It makes it look so bad. Yeah. What's it trading at right now? I told you one of my friends bought it at like $53. He's like, it's Trump coin. I'm like, dude.
What is it trading at?
It's probably like $2-3 right now.
You're lying.
I swear.
I thought the media would have been all over that.
No,
I want to add one quick thing. Remember we were talking about the Senate. You need a certain amount of votes to pass a money bill. So I thought 2/3. I was close. 60 out of 100.
Oh, okay.
So 60%. You need 60% of the senators for a money bill to advance. Adira, tell us more.
What is
I just wanted to provide, some clarification with regards to the story with CZ of Binance and the Trump family. So there were these reports coming initially from Wall Street Journal being recirculated quite heavily, suggesting that the Trump family is looking to invest in Binance.us. CZ said this article is actually, he viewed it as negative for crypto, saying it's part of an ongoing war on crypto. He called it political, and he also said that it's an attempt to, attack the Trump family. So CZ said not only is it untrue, he actually views it as an attempt to make crypto look bad. So that's the deal there. This is just the NASDAQ. Again, not confirmed, but this is just what CZ had to say about the story, saying that to him, anyway, from his knowledge, it is not real. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adira. The CEO came out today and, he kind of had a different tone. He was, he's like Donald Trump's involvement in the crypto industry helps give this a tailwind, especially internationally, with other foreign possible entities looking at buying crypto in the same way. The U.S. is setting up a strategic reserve. So their communications, I know that CZ is no longer the CEO, but they got to get their comms in order, because if you're going to elicit Donald Trump's name in association with whatever headline you're putting out there as a company, make sure that everybody's on the same page there. So we'll have to continue to watch that, and we'll report on it to you guys. Adira, thank you so much for giving us color on that.
What do you think? What do you think the high was on Trump coin? Don't look at it.
I have no idea. Never looked at the
Never
high,
looked at anything?
Never looked at the low,
All right.
Never even saw it trade.
Okay, well, I'll tell you right now, Sharif.
Go for it.
$77, right? Now trading at $10.54. So that's a 90% haircut.
I people would be way more on that.
Involved in that?
Headline, I'd be seeing that everywhere. Every time I open up CNBC in the morning, there's like 20 Trump headlines. None of them talk about that.
No, well, look at DJT as well, too. That thing's like dead. No one's trading DJT anymore, and this guy's full in office. It was all leading up to him coming into office, but now it's dead. Same with Trump coin. My buddy bought in at 53. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I don't even know. I'm like, like, what are you actually doing? What is the thought process there? But anyways, the meme, if you want to partake in that stuff, by all means, do so. But do so. But again, not a good look. Okay, I like Alibaba here, guys. Let's pull up. We're starting to trade above the range. Let's see if we can break through with some momentum and volume here, Sharif, in Alibaba. Yeah, I didn't type that in. There we go. Climbing through a nice bull flag. Someone in the chat mentioned it. I'm like, okay, let me see if I can get involved in this. Don't necessarily want to be buying the tops of this, of the range, unless volume really kicks in here, and you can see it's starting to engulf, breaking through resistance. So a good look, still positive on the session, up about 1%. So gonna want to stick with some of these names, and that's Alibaba, Sharif.
Alibaba. All right, here we go. We're involved back in HMR at the 10 exponential. So I did get that dip trade filled. Wet the beak there initially at 18s. It's still, we're like 1 penny in the money. I still feel there might be more downside. So I'm going to keep a tight stop on this one. Anything below 4, we're out. Way smaller share size this time. Let's see if this one wants to pop up. There was certainly a seller at 13. And then there was another seller, all hidden, by the way, at 14s. They got taken out, but it looks like they're reinstituting their position because you can kind of see it trading in that fashion now where they're the size on the book not moving. Like, look at those 39s, those 12s, they're not changing. So what's actually exchanging hands right now are all hidden orders. I feel there's possibly more downside to this HMR, so I'm going to trade it really carefully over here as it comes back down into 10 now, but a 2 penny spread there. Keeping my eye on FOSL, it did pop into my my exit there at 69s, my beak wetter, but it didn't fill at 69, so let's wait to see if we get that break. Now, this one's been trouble for me on the fills. It's been coming into my area, but because of the thick nature of the book, it hasn't been filling me at my level, so we've had to cross substantially in order to get the fill there. I'm going to pack my patience on FOSL. I like my entry on that one into the area low. HMR still zagging at the 10 exponential moving average right now. Let's see if this one wants to hold for. The current candle that we're in technically is a higher low, and at the 10 exponential moving average on the 5, it's up 62%. Let's keep an eye out on that one. I had a couple of dip trades that likely are going to go unfilled here on SSP. I tried to shadow the volume weighted average price, but I kind of had the feeling that we were just doing the higher low, higher high situation, which is fine. I mean, the point about this one is to try to kind of take the trend as it is. Now, I'm going to keep my eye on this one because it's up 31% and a good look. So we're going to keep tabs on that one. QMCO, the other one that we were talking about. This one got away from me at the volume weighted average price at 13.5. Now guess what? It's up to 14.5 on its way into that high day at 14 3/4. QMCO, it's a bit of a spready one though for a kind of a small cap gapper. We're showing 55s on the ask, 38s on the bid. So you're going to have to be careful with this one if you're going to trade it because it's going to cost, the cost of doing business with this one might be a little bit more than you can handle. There we go. Now we get the print on HMR at 25s. Now this one's moving on up. My next little beak wetter there is going to be at 35s, but we're not out of the woods yet. We're still putting in lower highs on every successive 5-minute candle. The only thing that was good about this one is that we have a higher low on the current candle, 1210. I'm talking about that 1205 candle, so currently a higher low on HMR. We'll see if we can get something on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
Just want to know if, hello? I was just on the screen. There we go. I just want to know if my guys over there needed anything, you know, like a little water, a little coffee there, some teas, my guys over there.
I'll take a black if you don't mind, my guy.
Black coffee for you, my guy?
Please.
Sharif, you all right?
Yeah, sorry?
You need anything to drink or
no,
anything?
I'm good,
you need
thank you. Appreciate
you want a little
yeah.
half a bagel or anything? You want a little
Half a
bit
bagel?
chicken salad
You know he's
sandwich?
a bagel eater?
No, that's why I said
Come
it.
on, bro.
That's why I said it, bro.
Come on, bro.
Too many carbs over there for my guy.
Bring a bag
All right,
of
so coffee for Joe. Sharif, you need a tea, anything like that? All seriousness? Okay.
Yeah, man.
All right, no
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah, there's no carb, zero carb, man. It's summertime. It's cut season. It's getting ready for it, man. Let's go. Sharif,
Yes, sir.
Alibaba continuing to climb higher here. And what do? I hop into TSLL again. I didn't play the breakout range in case it was going to be a false breakout. But again, just a little hesitance here. That's okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to try to get out of TSLL break even here because I don't want any part of this name right now. So yeah, I'm just going to hop out of it. Even if it goes, it goes. That's fine. I just don't want to be trading it how it is right now because we are moving to the eastward. But a nice look here on that bull flag type pattern to that individual in the chat who pointed it out, and we were trading it. So if you got in at the bottom of the range here, then congratulations to you. You caught this breakout, that volume supporting it as well too. You can see that we are constructing higher lows. Extremely important to keep an eye out on, respecting VWAP to a T, to a T there, Sharif,
yes,
and then
sir.
not breaching this trend line very much here, and then just continuing to the top side. So good look there, good look there on Alibaba, guys. I can't chase it all the way up here. Glad I got out of TSLL as well too, because we are just trading within a range, and now going to the downside. It seems to be the case. So yeah, that's it. The game brothers, man. But here we go. go. That's what it's all about, man. I was telling Sharif I was hitting negatives. I did a bunch of legs yesterday as well too. Negatives, curled negative curls. Ooh, and then pull up negatives as well too.
Pull up negatives are fantastic.
Yeah, so a lot of negatives.
Have you heard the concept time under tension?
No, so is that where you go like 30 you hold 30 seconds slowly
It's not
down?
about like a specific amount of seconds. Yeah, so time under tension, the principle is how much time the muscle is under tension. So if you were to do 10 sets with 1 set eccentric, 1 set concentric, and then 1 set holding, so then you have a 3-second rep, give or take, right? So then you're under tension for 30 seconds. 10 reps, 3 seconds per rep. So the point is to add more time under tension, which means you obviously have to drop the weight a little bit, right? Because then you're trying to add a little bit more.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So you can use that within the bigger structure of another thing called periodization. Periodization is where you have like different goals. So we got the power phase, we got the hypertrophy phase, we got the strength phase, we have the anatomical adaptation phase. So all these different phases have different specificities for time under tension. Right?
Okay, yeah, that's nice. Okay, so that's why I like that. So that's why I hold my reps at the high, right? So if I'm doing some pull-ups, hold that, squeeze it for as long as I can, leg extension, holding it, even with curls. I haven't been doing as much incline press or dumbbell press or anything.
That's the one that hits the chest the most even.
I know, but I told you I'm doing cows these days, so I'm hitting dips. Even though it hits the center, right? And doing some push-ups and stuff like that.
You can do incline push-ups. You can just have you ever done upside down shoulder presses?
Yeah, just do those.
Angle it, but you got to put your feet up on a desk.
On a desk, exactly.
Right?
Hit that. So exactly. So good look there. So you can hit it multiple ways. I gotta add a Tesla here, guys. Okay. Again, we broke through that zone. That's okay. I'm not upset about it or anything along those lines because you have to sit through this noise, which isn't very much fun, as Alibaba continues to climb higher and the market is making another leg down as well too, Sharif. So tough look here. Glad that I didn't hold on to it, even though it did appreciate a little bit. So it is what it is. What's everybody in the chat saying? It's always a small game. Oh, no, Drew Farrell, that is crazy. It's always the small guys.
Always stupid. So, so the people who are stupid don't recognize.
Don't call them small, man. Don't call them small.
We did well on this one, Joe. HMR got in right bottom wick. Took it out initially at 15, then we took out 20s, now we took out 32, so really happy with this trade. That was a second trade on HMR, and I kind of feel good about it after starting off real rough here with RGC, not gonna lie. We got bottom wick on both candles, on both trades, I should say, so we're gonna keep an eye out on this one. The one that I'm kind of unsure about is FOSL. It's been awfully consolidative. We got a couple of good fills on it, but that's the best thing that I can say about it. Sadly, we didn't get that fill at 69. We were waiting. It did move up into 69, but it didn't get filled there. So we got 64s on now. With the best print that I've got is 62. So I will look to defend that volume weighted average price if and until it breaks that level. So far though, like literally every wick that's come in has bounced off the volume weighted average price, and there was only basically 3 candles that actually touched VWAP. The majority of them don't even make it down to VWAP. The ones I'm talking about are 1140, 1145, and 1150. All those ones had actual touches at the volume weighted average price. The rest, the ones before, the ones after, they all keep above that level. So good look there. We're going to keep an eye on HMR because this trade isn't done, baby. We're now putting in 3 consecutive higher low candles on HMR. We're coming into that 450 level. Now, I'll submit to you that the high of the day print is 480. But look at this level over here. This is where the real selling came in, that 450 level. That's where I perceive us to possibly have more resistance on the upside if we continue on our way up. 480 is the one. We're going to be keeping a look on that one. Amy Tiger, please look at QBTS. I know that one had a headline today, so let's have a look at that. Here we go. That's a fantastic look. I mean, you've got higher lows. You're above VWAP right now. For the most part, you do have selling at 680 to 685 with some outlying candles there, as you can see, into 695, 694. I like this on a higher low basis. I wouldn't be so quick to use VWAP here because it's shown its propensity to basically disrespect VWAP. I'm talking about this candle from basically 9.55 to 10.10. Once we reclaimed it, then we double bottomed again below VWAP at 10.40 and 10.45, and then you had a quick wick below it at 11.55. So look for the money fills just on that higher low basis. Maybe not really fixate on VWAP. That's not a bad look. I think QBTS is going to replace BON on the side chart over here because BON has been kind of doing diddly squat. And we're going to put QBTS so that we can keep an eye on that bad boy. Thank you for calling that out. That is a good look on that one. Jose.
Yeah, so let's take a look at some INTC, guys. It looks like, oh my days, Gorev, 16%, my friend. So good look there. I'm glad that you took those multiple entries as well, too. That's just signs of a confident trader, and I'm glad that you're doing that. You can see that I went long here earlier in the day. Excuse me, and then I got all out here, and then I looked to flip short in case this name wanted to break down, which it usually tends to do, but it didn't. It held VWAP really, really well, and then slowly climbed higher. So if you had the ability to sit through all of that noise, then nice work and nice diamond hands there. Unfortunately, I don't have the diamond hand thing, but I would give that to you, and I'm going to give that to my boy Gorev in the chat. So nice look there. Notorious G, Joe, I went in with you on TSLA for the first time. You went in and out 2 other times, and I'm still holding. I'm basically break even. Why did you go in and out so many times? Well, I'm going to tell you first things first there, Notorious G. Don't mirror trade, okay? Don't, just because I do something doesn't mean you should go and do it. You want to obviously trade for yourself. But you can see, I'll answer your question. You can see that I was in it here. So I was in, took some off, and then I added to the position, pieced out, and that was an accidental add, to be frank, and then we pieced out at the top. But what I'm looking for is a continuation of this move. We're not getting that. So one thing that to note is that, okay, I enter here at somewhat of a base. You can see we have somewhat of a floor here, a support system. Looking for that move higher. We didn't get it. We then break down past that zone. So I got out, right, because it can head lower. And look what happens 3 minutes later. We head lower. Okay, so that's reason one why I got out. It went past my stop. And it's the same thing. The reason, if I want to break it down and put it in short, the reason why I got out is because it went to my stop loss, right? My thesis is invalid at the break of these support levels. I'm looking for them to hold. They're not holding, so I get out of the trade, okay? So again, so entry, second entry here didn't work out, and same thesis here. And then at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm just chasing this underlying asset, so let me be a little bit more patient. If it's gonna break down, maybe we can hold some of these levels and then maybe slowly start to climb. But you can see from a minute by minute standpoint that we're just overlapping each other, and I'm not good, right? You have to be able to notice and identify your strengths. I'm not good in choppy price action. It's that simple. I'm a momentum trader. I want to see strength moving to the top side, and I want to see it relatively quick. I get too much inside of my head when we see these overlapping style of price action. So what do? I just avoid it, and I look for things that are strength, have high relative volume, and seem that they want to continue to the primary trend. Now, I will note here that Tesla does look like it can possibly break out through this range. And if the overall market wants to participate, then sure enough, I do believe that we can climb higher here. Oh, look at that. Hey man, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say here, man. This is the Ritz-Carlton. Thank you, Sean. This is the Ritz-Carlton today. I'm getting Randy bringing me fruits and coffee and everything along those lines. Katina man bringing me coffee. Multiple dollar club.
You're gonna have to get yourself a butler now.
Yeah,
all this spoiled service now.
Yeah, I know.
You're gonna get used to the good life.
Yeah, I'm gonna just when I get home, I'm just gonna sit on the couch and be like, Selena, darling, can I get
comment there. Does she watch the show?
Sometimes she chimes in. She chimes in.
Good.
So she said. So.
I don't want her to see me clapping.
Yeah.
That.
I'm gonna rewind it. And be like, hey, look what you
don't do that.
Look
Why
what
would you want to do that?
Hey, my guy,
Why
man.
would you want to do that?
So no, all jokes here. But yeah, I mean, cheers to the all black coffee here, and slowly curling over here in Tesla. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. We want to see this volume pick up. You can see that it's drastically starting on. It's on its decline line here, guys. So nothing looking too good as the market goes and tests the lows once again. Sure.
All right, Joseph, we gotta answer a few questions here. Shout out to JRO. He wants me to tell him what the float is on HMR. So I'm gonna let you know. I got 2 data points on this bad boy. My platform, and which doesn't have it. Okay, so check that. Now let's find out what Trade Ideas has to say. Okay, so Trade Ideas is saying, I'm gonna check to see if this one was reverse split. 328,000. It doesn't have the short float on it, so it's saying sub 500,000. Let's just check the daily, because sometimes what happens with these bad boys is it'll split, and then we won't get the update. So let's flip to the daily to see whether we can see any splits on HMR. And the only split that we got, dude, was back July of 2024. That was a 1 to 10. So no. Yeah, it looks like it is sub 1 million. What does this company do? I don't have Hydar Maritime Holdings. I don't even have a description about what this company does. So yeah, very little information about this company, but that's not why I trade it, right? You know that these are technical trades, right? We're looking for momentum. We're looking for strength on this. It's not really about what they do and whatever the situation is. So I'll keep an eye out on that. Farm Trader, HMR was a messy stock, MGOL. Oh, really? Okay. I remember that messy, what's it called? SPAC back in, I believe, it was 2020 or 2021. Adara, what's up?
Yes, just to kind of contextualize here, HMR or Hydmar, this is actually formerly MGO Global. They had a business combination. It was approved on February 15th, 2025. So I'm trying to find out here when they began trading as Hydmar, but that's what happened there. So HMR and MGOL combining their businesses. They began trading as HMR here February 20th, 2025. So once we got back from that 3-day weekend in February, HMR began trading as this ticker. That's the context there for Hydmar. And I have to credit someone in the chat as well, I believe Farm Trader, for letting me know about this earlier. Back to you.
Thank you so much for that, Adara. Great call out there. Got to give us context, baby. So that's what it is. And thanks to Adara for that. DJ 2AM, squatting about 400 pounds on his Instagram. Say, what? Bro, that's not even my 1 rep max, man. Are you kidding me?
You have a higher than 400?
Oh, yeah. I can bang a 3-banger on for 405.
Oh, yeah?
Easy.
Dang.
Yeah.
Right.
Legs is like my strongest feature.
You know what's funny, dude? I don't know why I thought about this. I was in the gym and I was just, when you get in the zone, you're like thinking about all the old sports plays you used. I don't know about you. I used to think about like old football plays and rock and stuff. I'm like, man, I wonder what Sharif and I would have been like. Sharif up the middle at linebacker and me in the secondary.
I never played linebacker though. I played the secondary.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You played secondary. All right. So maybe we'll put you up the middle there because you're a little bit bigger.
We had to do both.
Okay. So there you go.
Back and then you had to play free safety.
So you played tailback back in the day. Okay. So I like you up the middle there, clog up. So I mean,
bro, I told you the story about Mississauga. Right?
No, I don't think so.
Our offensive line.
Yeah.
This is when we were 16. Shout out to the Markham Raiders.
Oh yeah, they were big. They were
260 pounds at
some
16.
big boys. Yeah,
60. I know that's normal in the South.
That's crazy.
It ain't normal here.
No.
All right?
Out west though, the Dino boys. Yeah, Alberta boys. Yeah, the Alberta boys are pretty big, man.
The hormones.
Yeah, the Alberta boys.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure the Dino beat an NCAA team one year. Calgary Dino. It's like the CIS football.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, you didn't know. It's like obviously the Western Mustangs.
Okay. Oh, I see.
You know what
college.
I mean? Yeah, exactly. CIS.
Yeah, we never got into that here, man. I went to York, and York's team sucked.
Oh yeah.
So it was really bad.
Yeah.
U of T was a little bit better. Right? I remember my buddy from church played on U of T. He was a big boy lineman as well, bro. 305 pounds at like 19.
I wasn't big enough to play any
old.
college ball.
Oh, he was a big boy.
It's funny though. One of the kids that I grew up, I'm not going to say his name. But I played football and I used to cover him in high school practice. Then went on to, and he lived down the street from me, so we would always hang out, him and I. And he plays for the Ottawa All Blacks or Red, or whatever it is. Not the All Blacks, but the Red Blacks. Yeah. So he actually went to the CFL later.
No way.
And I used to cover him.
A lot of guys at the gym are former CFL guys, man.
Yeah.
They're good guys. They always find really good jobs. All right, let's get back into business over here, baby. We're still waiting, believe it or not, at 69s, and we have been waiting for a substantial amount of time here on FOSL. It's back at 69. It looks like we're dead last in priority because every time it moves up there, we are not getting the fill. And by we, I'm talking about me. Shout out to Roland Joe. I see you, sir. Alberta. Yes, welcome to the west of Canada, baby. Shout out to Alberta. You ever been to the Stampede?
I've never been to the Stampede.
That has got to be on my list as well, dude.
Yeah.
Never been to the Stampede.
Yeah,
always wanted to go. It's always at a bad time, though. Because
in the middle of the summer or something. It's in the middle of summer.
Yeah,
or something,
exactly.
right?
That's the thing. I'm always either elsewhere or whatever the situation is. Guys, HMR, I just wanted to mention this quickly on HMR, that we're still having trouble with that $0.50. So even though we've cleared it, we've gone to 480. It hasn't been a problem on a wick basis. It's a big problem on a closing basis. I'm talking about HMR, and I'm talking about that $4.50 level. We are putting higher lows, much in the same way that we did when we were at that 360 level, and that's really what had me interested. For that flat top break, it's setting up very similar to that, in the sense that we have that 410 dip, and that's where I got in the second time, and look at this, higher low, higher low, higher low. All the while, it's that flat top at 450. So this could be the same story that we saw at 360 when we flat top broke through 390, and then by extension of that, obviously 4. So this one certainly in focus. I don't mind trading this one again, but I want to see proof that this one is not going to tank off 450. Look what it's doing already, bro. This was dipping aggressively into the 10 exponential. Let's try a trade here, man. What do we have to lose? Let's give this one the old community college try, and we're going to wait at 32s. Anything below, where do we get in at 27s? Look, we're going to give it to 18. So we're going to go like that, and then we're going to drop down into here. See if we can get a fill, possibly into that 33 penny area. I'm talking about HMR simultaneously. There we go. Finally, we get the print at 69 on FOSL. So this one does pop up just a skosh. It's still showing me 69s, though, on the ask, not 70. The next level I'm waiting at 72s. Let's see if that comes in, Joseph. What do you got on that side?
Yeah, I'm currently frozen here, Shreve, so I might have to do a little restart, but that's okay. We'll figure something out. Hopefully everything. Katina, man, are you okay over there?
Am I okay?
Yeah, is P Pro frozen for you or no?
No, it's good.
Okay, you're good. Yeah, Sharif's good, but I'm completely frozen here, guys. But what I was looking to do, it looks like that ship has sailed. On the TQs, I wanted to grab the bottom. You can see we have multiple touches here, forming a nice support base. So if I could have caught the bottom of that range, I would have been in and around the middle of this range. But for some reason, I froze up a little bit. So we'll just have to restart the platform, and I'm sure it'll be okay. But climbing higher and higher here, it looks like the market wants to get somewhat of a bounce. I was looking at Apple as well too, but I don't necessarily want to trade Apple just because of the weak overall catalyst that it has. But again, multiple touches on the 5-minute time frame here on AAPL, looking for a bounce here, somewhat of a rebound in the markets. Tesla starting to continue to climb higher, not looking too bad. We're not in that name. We took two more attempts on it as well. Didn't work out how we want, but breaking through some key resistance zones, so important and a positive signal here in the overall market. I'm going to send it to you for a second here, so I can just restart everything.
Absolutely. So get yourself in order there.
Exactly.
All right, guys, I'm keeping an eye on RGC. So this is the one that I fat-fingered on and had like way more shares than I typically take, and we got in a lot of trouble as a result of it. So we're having to trade a lot more carefully today, but I'm watching this one kind of bullpen it a little bit. So here's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing, there was obviously a lot of different halts on the way up, but regardless of that, I see a bull flag and then a compression pattern right now. We certainly have lower highs, we know that, but we also have higher lows. So when this one breaks off or breaks up, from the compression pattern, your guess is as good as mine. We can just kind of perceive it and then try to trade around it. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look to get in towards the lower end of what I perceive to be an upper trend line in the same way that I see the lower trend line. So let's go ahead and draw these so you guys can follow along. And then, so that's the upper trend line. Let's draw the lower trend line there so you can kind of see how we have lower highs, but we also have higher lows. So here's the deal. We're going to get involved with this one, small shares, and I'm going to have to give it at least to 975 Why is that? Because that's the low of the current 5-minute candle. And if I don't give it to at least the low of the current 5-minute candle, then I'm just asking to get stopped out. So I'm going to wait up here, down here. I'm going to try to put the odds on my side by getting a bit of a dip trade. I'm going to put it at 10s. 10-10 is what I'm looking to dip trade there with. Ultimately, I'd like to be able to hold this through the break of the upper trend line. It's been really respecting that. So that means it would have to kind of break above that 10.5. So we didn't get printed there on the dip trade. So still nothing on this one in terms of any shares. Showing me 10.21. Let's see if this one dips into 10.10. Again, my stop will have to be below that 975 area because that's the current candle low. So that's my look there. That's my thinking. All right. FOSL, nothing doing there. We got this 69 print, 69 print, still waiting at 72s. Nothing coming out of that so far. HMR got stopped out super quickly. We got in at 27s, got stopped out 18s. We lost 9 pennies on this one. But what I'm seeing here is for whatever reason, it's finding support at this 410 area. We saw that over here. That's when I got involved the second time. And then it's double bottoming again at 410 showing support. So now it's breached the 10, it's at the 20. It's not a level or an indicator that I typically use for areas on these small cap gappers. It's usually the 10 exponential and VWAP that keep me interested. This one is finding support at the 20 on a 2-candle 5-minute basis. So I think I'm just going to wait to either 4 or VWAP. VWAP's at 388, but VWAP obviously can change because it's a dynamic level as the price action changes. So I'll rather just give this one to about $4 or 388, depending on which one or which level this one respects. That's my thinking on HMR at the moment. Not gonna trade this one, excuse me, until it comes into my level. All right, what are we doing here on RGC? Still nothing filled. So it did dip, it looks like, into the low teens, but I'm waiting at 10.10. So nothing filling for me here right now, Joseph. Maybe we will get that fill shortly. Right now, it's still doing that lower high, higher low situation, though, on the 5. What do you got, my man?
Nice look there, guys. We're back up and running. Tesla turned out to be a good trade, but the thing is, though, I'm not frustrated or anything about it. I feel no ways. Essentially, we were in once again, but I'm like, this sideways type price action was tough. But if you had the ability to get in as the volume on the lower time frame started to pick up, so there you go. We're now breaking through these zones in the market, putting in somewhat of a recovery rally here, guys. So nice look there. Edward Lindenmeyer, here we go. We're going to try your question for a third time. So by second derivatives, I mean a bet within a bet, highly risky but huge reward. The bet was Tesla would double its price and tank by half within 5 months. Is there such a thing? No, I don't think there is, but a bet within a bet would lead me to think that you're talking about hedging a position, right? So if you're long some calls and you're like, oh, okay, there might be some downside momentum, then you can buy a put as well too, and then essentially you're just hedging against that position. So I think when you refer to a bet within a bet, it's just hedging a potential position. So that's my opinion. I don't know anything else deeper into what you're referring to, but I'm just going to leave it as possible hedging. So there we go. TQ's breaking out as well, guys. I wish I got in around these lows, but actually, I'm not even going to rephrase what my grandpa used to say to me is wish in one hand, do something in the other, and see what feels first.
Wow,
and that's really see what feels faster. So yeah, we're not going to go around here wishing anymore too much anymore, Sharif. But yeah, climbing higher is the market. Nice bounce here, guys. Apple starting to bounce off the lows as well too. Microsoft, nice recovery. I mentioned time and time again, guys, a recovery in the market. We're going to need to see it from some of these big names. But what I do like here, Sharif, is that NVDA is starting to break through this channel. That is a positive sign. If we get a pullback and a retest of it, so you can see that I had this channel drawn out. And all of these 5-minute candles are just overlapping each other. You sell the top of it, you buy the lows. But now we've broken through this channel and looking like it wants to climb a little bit higher. So that is a good signal. Let's pull up the options chain and see if we have any high levels of open interest on the call side. Good thing I got it open up already. 120 on this week's expiration cycle, Sharif. We have 77,000 open contracts here at that 120 strike price. So positive sign here on NVDA. Are we we going to get to those levels today? Maybe, maybe not. But we will be patient and wait to try and capitalize on this. I'm going to wait for a retest as well here on NVDA around 116.28 and then get involved in this because I like how we're breaking out here, Sharif.
Ryan, Sharif, what are you planning to buy with this market correction? Thank you. That's a great question, dude. I haven't actually thought about that yet. I haven't added any to my positions, even Bitcoin. I haven't added anything to IBIT. I'm just in a wait and see approach. I kind of explained what my thinking was about the market on Tuesday. I'm of the opinion that we're really going to focus on the bond market going forward. By we, I'm talking about the current administration, because they have to get bond yields under control in order to limit government spending on its debt. The example I gave when I gave this whole spiel on Tuesday is like you leasing a car or financing a car at 9%. Yep, you bought it when the rates were high. Then all of a sudden, rates drop. It's an open loan. So you go to another financier and you say, hey, look, I'm paying 9%. I see you're offering car buyers right now 5%. Yep, it's an open loan. You mind paying off my creditor and then I can finance it with you? That's the idea here. We gotta get our interest payments on the debt lower. The only way to do that is to increase bond prices. Bond prices and bond yields are inversely correlated, meaning when bond prices go up, yields go down, and the exact opposite. So my thinking is it's gonna be one doing well at the expense of another. And so if my theory, it's not my theory, by the way, is accurate, then the equities suffer for a while or move sideways for a while. Now, in addition to that, we've seen what's happening in Europe. They're going to finance the war in Ukraine, or so it seems. How are they going to do that? Well, they're going to raise money. What kind of money are they raising? Well, they're raising it through debt issuance, through treasuries, through their bonds. And so you're going to have people sell their European bonds, European whatever they're called, the Bund or the Guild or whatever they got over there, and it's going to find its way into U.S. bond market, which is then going to bring up the price of the bond and lower the yield. So my thinking is here, I need to see a little bit more before I'm buying anything else. That's my little spiel. So to answer your question in a really long-winded way, I haven't bought anything and I haven't thought about it at the moment. So when I do, I'll obviously share that with you guys quick as you like. So still involved in FOSL. I did get into this MRCP trade. It's not treating me that well. This is an MX stock. It's above VWAP. I'm going to give this one to about 375. If it doesn't hold 375, I'm gonzino on this. It's going to, you know my rules. It's going to have to hold volume weighted average price for me to stay involved. Small cap gapper rules. We'll see what we get in this one, Joseph.
Yes, sir. I agree with you there, Jameson. So I was just about to reply to you in the chat. Any pop just gets faded, and we're still trading below the volume weighted average price. So that's really key to note. And if we were going to climb higher, you would see this move sustained. You would see these support levels being held. But we're just heading right back into the middle of the range here. So we'll wait for a turnaround signal. If we head as low as 115.50s, then maybe we'll get a little bit of a dip buy in here. But Tesla rejecting VWAP as well too, guys. The Qs and the SPY couldn't quite make it there. But what is strong, Alibaba, I was referring to the ADR, the Chinese ADRs, trading really, really well and outperforming the S&P and the NASDAQ year to date. So want to stick with those strong names, moving really well. A opening price of 135.08 and now trading at 139, Sharif, and with a high of 139.65 there in Alibaba Group. So nice look there in those ADRs. Let's see what FXI is up to as well. Let's see if we're kind of just mirroring Baba too. So good look there. K-Web. I know Sharif likes this one. K-Web. I know Josh Brown likes K-Web.
Hey.
But yeah, 35.81. Again, bull flag type price action here on K-Web. I'll show you guys here briefly, but I want to get involved in some NVDA here. Been sitting on my hands and waiting for a key setup to rise, and it's looking like we might get the opportunity. Now, I'm taking a risk here, right? Because I referred to you guys earlier. I like a definitive direction. I like identifying pullbacks within the price action prints, and then you can continue to the top side. We are moving to the eastward here on NVDA, so have to be really patient and give this enough room, right? So I have to get out at the bottom of the range, which will give me about an 80-cent stop there, guys. So yeah, I like this for a potential setup. We're gonna wait, see if this holds a little bit more, and then once we sit on top of this range, we can use VWAP as our out, or I'm gonna try to get a dip buy right below the volume weighted average price here, guys. But Tesla trading pretty good now, up at $8.35 is TSLA, so going to keep that of note. But this is the channel I'm referring to on NVDA here, guys. Nice breakout of it, and now hoping that this can be sustained. The volume is supporting the move, so that's not a bad look at in itself. We might break down here, but let's see if it holds, Sharif.
Man, this QMCO is continuing to go, man. Wow, what a move up by this name. And there was a great looking flat top break at 14 and like 14.40, 14 and a half. You know, same difference on a $14 name, but yeah, the higher low situation is definitely intact right now. And why I say flat top break is because you kind of rejected off that 14.40 pop initially. You dropped back down, you defended VWAP. That was the most notable thing. But the spread continues to be prohibitive on this thing. It's 16 pennies right now on a $14 name. That just ain't gonna cut it, man. So I'm keeping my eye on it. If it wants to come back down and test that flat top break, we'll take that in the same way that we did on HMR when we got that 390, when we got that 450. So I'm gonna throw an alert on QMCO, even though I really don't want to trade it because it's super spready on the day. Let's go ahead and put something at the $0.50 there. So if it does dip down a couple of more shekels, we'll be notified about it, and then we can make the decision at that time. I'm talking about QMCO, guys. It's up 32%. It's got a fantastic looking chart on the day, even though it has a topping tail candle into 15 and a quarter, still above the 10 exponential. It's still obviously above VWAP. So we'll see what we get there. I'm still very, very interested in that. I still went unfilled on RGC. I had my dip trade set at 10.10. Now this one does look like it may start breaking above that lower high situation. But ultimately, you'll get confirmation of that one way or another if it does break and close above 11 and a third. So these two candles over here, this double top at 11.33, that manifested at 11.55 and 12 o'clock. The level is 11.33, the time is 11.55 and 12 o'clock of the candles. If it breaks above that, then you'll know the lower high situation is done and that this one could be headed possibly into the upside. So keep my eye on that one. I did get stopped out, sadly, of this MX stock over here. Where's it at? MCRP. This one, it was nothing doing on this one, man. It really didn't hold VWAP. It didn't hold anything. So we give back some nice profits that we made earlier on HMR on MCRP. So that's just kind of the nature of the beast on that bad boy. Here's QMCO. It's coming into that $0.50 area. Let's see, by extension of that $0.50 area, it's also the 10 exponential moving average. So let's see if we can get a mid-print. Wow, it's a 30 penny spread. Bro, what is happening with this one? Why is it so spready? 45s on the bid, 75 on the ask. It's a ridiculous spread. Let's see if we can get filled at 55s. Right now it's showing me 51s. Let me see if I can get the fill. Okay, so you do get the fill there. Can you post right away on the other side? Let's see. Let's find out. No, you can't. That's interesting there. Okay, so we'll see if this one wants to hold up. I'm going to give this one the old college try. What's going on over there, Katina Man? The Katina Man's $5 in the money on the dead one Apple. We're going to shout out the Katina Man. A hell of a trade there, brother. Way to hold on to that bad boy for the entire day. Good trade, Katina Man. What do you got, Joseph?
Yeah, good trade there, brother. Bang, Jerome Powell. Let's go. But yeah, I mean, this market is just continuing to bleed. Now cracking through the lower days. Sharif, the SPY is bleeding. We severed an artery here. My guy, continuing to the downside, and we can't stop the bleeding. It's literally been how many days consecutive here now? 4 days in a row where we finished on a red candle. We were at the top. This was the top February 19th. This year, folks, now down 10%. Yeah, 3 weeks ago. We're down 10% since then. So tough look here in the market. Tesla giving back that move that it just put up here. Amazon putting in a new low as well here too, guys. So the Magnificent Seven dragging everything down. Market breadth not looking too good. Possibly, do I need, can you check for me, Katina, man? How much is it for shorts on K-Web? I wouldn't mind shorting K-Web all the way up here. I don't know.
To pay for shorts?
Let me try it. Yeah, let me try it, because that's Amex, I'm pretty sure, as well, too. Isn't it, Sharif? Tab, AM. Yep. So K-Web is Amex. I like it at the bottom of this range here if the market wants to continue to bleed. So we'll wait for a little bit of a pop around this support zone. And then if we have the inability to construct a new high, so we're putting in a lower high here, guys, then I'm going to look for that turnaround here in the underlying asset to break through the support level and then continue to the downside. So I like that look there on K-Web. Let's pull up TSLL real quick as well so we can take a look at what happened and how everything just got faded. So you can see we broke out nice through the support system, this resistance zone here. Volume really stair-stepping to the top side. We don't even get to view up here, and then we just break down a little bit more. So yeah, the overall market continuing to construct new lows on the day. So I fade the pops here, guys. And my good buddy Greg V just said to me, he's like, yeah, it's fade the pops literally until otherwise. Until they stop getting sold off, continue to do so because it seems to be working here.
All right, man, QMCO, I finally mustered up the courage to get involved. We're long 59s. It's showing me 90s. Good trade. The only thing that I can complain about with this trade is I didn't get my dip trade on this monster. I really wanted to get a bit more shares than I currently have. Now I'm going to wait at 15.15s. It's going to have to clear 15. It's a nice little breach there of the 10 exponential, but it was a quick wick and it recovered quickly above that. Now, I'm not going to leave this resting order there. I probably will cancel that because, yeah, usually you don't get too many shots at that one level. So if we do come back down there, I'll have a bit of a bias that we will break that level. So now it's showing me 15s. I'm waiting at 15.15. We're long 59s. I'm quite happy with this trade. Good execution here. Could have done a bit better, though, definitely with the ad. Let's see what happens with that one. FOSL. Continuing to trade back into that 70 area. We'll keep tabs on that. I'm back into HMR here. I perceive this one to kind of be doing a curl off that 410 and a predictable area. I tried to get single digits, sorry, not single digits, low double digits like 410, 413. It wasn't having me, so I had to chase it. So I'm long 21s. I've given it to 404, so it's going to have to hold above this previous area low. I'm talking about the candle at 1235. Let's see if we can get a couple of prints. I've layered my order into 30, 25, 35, and 25, 30, and 35, excuse me, on that. So we'll see what we get there. Keeping an eye on FOSL, certainly keeping an eye on QMCO. QMCO just wicked into 15 again and did not cross. 14.99s, again, showing on the ask. This is the kind of thing that haunts me at night, though, Joseph.
I'm listening.
No, you got to look.
Oh, this is...
enter,
yeah,
enter, stop,
yeah,
rock.
Rip, yeah. I have nothing
It's an
knows
Amex
about
stock, so I won't feel too bad about that. A little bamboozling there. That will keep me up at night. No, I'm kidding. Of course, it will not. I probably won't remember the ticker tomorrow, and that's kind of the good thing about having a short-term memory there with these stocks. Okay, so we did get a bit of a fill there on HMR, but look at that. It's met with aggressive selling. So that's quite bamboozling. We get in, and we wet the beak there at the $0.25, but it's being met with some aggressive selling. So I wonder if the shorts now or the sellers are in control. I really don't want to be in the situation where I'm having to fight this one, especially since it looks like its best days are behind it. We're putting in lower lows and lower highs. So if that's the case, yeah, I'm definitely not going to be fighting these shorts at this level. So we'll keep tabs, see what we get there. Yeah, I know, Atul. It's just the way it is with these bad boys, especially on the MX network. Because at AM, you definitely have some lesser known names, so the bamboozlement can certainly take place with those bad boys. All right, QMCO, I see it's at 15.05s. I'm waiting at 15.15. It's showing me 9s now. Let's see if we can get 15 print. We're showing 06s on this side, 09s on this side. We are being met with some selling, though, so we'll have to probably pack our patience. Just to give you an idea, the high of the day is 15.25, but the closing prints all south of 15. Adara, give us some good news.
I had some stuff to talk about here, Sharif. For one, the market did take that push to the downside. Basically, Donald Trump saying he's not going to be bending on Canada tariffs or the April 2nd tariffs, specifically with Canada. He mentioned metals. He also said there's going to be a little disruption in the economy, but it won't be for very long. Also worth noting, Palantir's AIP Con 2025 has begun. Right now, it's just these guys talking on the stage about their Palantir AIP. So if I see anything of note there that's market moving, I'll let you guys know. I'm keeping an eye on the stock. Back to you.
Thanks so much for that, Adara. Killing it up there. We definitely appreciate that. Adara, a little bit. All right. Oh, we just got the dip trade here on RGC. Now all hell is going to break loose. It's going to have to hold up above that $9.50 level. Joseph, I got to send it to you while I throw out some stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So Alex Karp, with that Palantir meeting, the guy's definitely talking about home offense, really. Never mind defense. This guy's pure on the offensive and wants to be able to create an AI that can detect organic matter. So, yeah, there you go. That's his mentality. But, yeah, here we go, guys.
Department of Offense.
Yeah, exactly. It's not the defense anymore. It's strictly offense, which is insane. I love that guy. Yeah, I love that guy, man. He's definitely he's a different character. I guess you got to be, and that's the thing, right? I don't want to get too off topic here because we are talking about the markets, but it's like, okay, you have some of these people who are October 5th, 1992.
Oh, okay, he's the second. That's why you like him so much.
Okay, that's my guy then. Yeah.
You just gotta grow out the hair.
Yeah. Well, hey man, you know what's going on with the top.
Well, I think you got the curls though.
I did. Well, not anymore.
Who's that, bro? Look at him. He's got the curls.
Yeah, he's got the curls. Good looking chap there.
You just have to never see the barber for like 3 months.
Yeah,
and you could look like him.
I mean,
shout out to Alex.
Shout out to Alex. Good hairdo there. Good dude. I'm sure he's a good dude. But what was I referring to? Yeah, you can't really expect these guys to be normal, right? Like Elon and Alex Karp, they're just different human beings. I was gonna kind of use an analogy of like Conor McGregor or anything. Like you can't really expect that guy to be normal, but you don't want to necessarily fall off the rails quite like that, maybe. But don't expect these guys to do normal things. And when I refer to, we were talking about Tesla, and you guys heard me say this multiple times. I don't own the stock for Elon to be the CEO, the head of Doge or whatever it may be. Right. But again, it comes with the territory. Like when you're buying Tesla stock, know that you're investing in Elon Musk because that's essentially what it is. And for him to go off the beaten path is not abnormal or anything along those lines. So just to look at the other side of that trade there, it comes with the territory. But let's see if we can get a breakdown in K-Web here. It's looking pretty good. If we squeeze through this zone right here, this resistance zone, then I'll just get out of the trade, or maybe, actually no, I was going to hold it for 10 cents, sorry. So if we break through this high, then that means we can continue to climb lower, and I won't be positioned well enough in order to take this to the top side. But what I will do is I'll hold it to that point. It gives us about a 12-cent risk here, and if we decide to break the zones, I'm going to be looking for about a 20-cent play. So that'll put us around a 2-to-1 if we can tap into VWAP here, Sharif.
Yes, sir. Just one more.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's the thing. Okay. So yeah, XPEV. What's going on with XPEV? I'll take a look at that for you, Pathik. XPEV. Okay. Oh yeah, it's trading really, really nice here. So again, just these Chinese names are strong, and I'm shorting strong stuff, which doesn't really make too much sense. But yeah, nice climb higher here on XPEV. Pretty good look here. Let's zoom out from a daily standpoint to see if it's starting to curve. Oh wow. Okay. Is this all-time highs? Oh no, not even relatively close. So 75 is the all-time high. Yeah.
So that one. But we are pandemic play. Look at that breakout.
We are breaking out though. That's a positive sign for this, I guess.
We got to go to Adara.
Oh, okay. I didn't hear that one.
I just put the headline here on the screen, but basically Donald Trump saying that Facebook, so of course keep an eye on META, apparently Facebook going to invest $60 billion by the end of year. This headline does not specifically say what they're investing in, but we know they've been working on these AI investments, so that is more than likely what is happening here. But if I find out more details, I'll let you know. Donald Trump currently in a meeting here with the NATO secretary, so it looks like these are probably a Q&A after the fact. Also keep an eye on Rich Tech Robotics. This one pushing higher here. Amazon sponsoring the company, guys. So RR and META on watch. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Adara. Interesting look there. All right, RGC, we got the beak wet there. We got in at 10s, took it out at a quarter. Now I'm waiting at 45s. Lofty price target, but because it's moving 30 pennies at a time. So my stop out is going to be below the $0.75 area. That's where it bounced off last time. It looks like it might break that. So let's see if it's able to be met with some buy-in. This is an area of support that it has been bouncing off, for the better part of, I'd say an hour or so. So we'll keep tabs on that one. I'm quite proud of this trade over here on QMCO. We took it out at 15.15s, but like my HMR trade, it continues to go up and up and up. QMCO is a dang rocket ship right now, 1540 high a day. Nothing changes with this one though. It's still that spready ticker. It's tightened up a little bit here, 6 cents. I've seen it as wide as 30. Probably not going to change all that much when the liquidity drops off. Here it comes back into 15. Let's see if this one is able to hold above that $15 level. I'm talking about QMCO. It's up 35%. It's a respectable look on that one. FOSL, we've been involved with this one literally all day. Let's see if we can get something popped up there into what's 72s. That's the last level I'm looking at. And HMR got stopped out of this one, sadly. Oh, but now it's coming into VWAP. Oh, there's a different trade here. Okay, let's see what does that VWAP. Do we get that VWAP spike, quick as you like? I'm going to try. I'm going to try it over here. I'm not going to give it much room at all. Let's layer some orders. Oh, that's not the one. Where'd I get long? 92. So let's layer some orders, see if we can extract anything, at least to the high side. It's a VWAP trade. Okay. I don't know why it's not doing that. There we go. All right. So just layering my orders over here, guys. VWAP trade here on HMR. Let's see if it pops up. There's definitely a seller at 95s here. You can kind of see that. Look at that. It's not even moving, and there's no size posted on the book. So definitely showing a lot of downward pressure here, back down into 94. So HMR, it's going to have to hold VWAP for me to stay interested. Layering the orders for a possible spike back into the high side. Nothing doing, though, sadly, at the moment. What's going on over here? We got stopped out of that one too. There we go. Now HMR gives us a couple of prints to the high side. Let's see if it can hold 90. This kind of was the level here, Joseph. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm thinking about hopping into some TQs. You can see my K-Web here. We're starting to punch through, so try the short doesn't work, but that's okay. If we hold this lower high, then I think we'll be sitting half decently pretty. But I do want to try to buy the Qs off the lows here, so kind of going against myself, but that's all right. I do believe that we can potentially put in a bottom market down 2.5% on the day, so a bounce would be nice. So Joseph, check the candle print on the Qs on the 15-minute. It is a hammer. I will do that right now and see if I can confirm. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what you're looking at. One thing to note, good look there, Pathic, but it's not isolated, and we still do have a little bit of selling pressure here, so we need to take that into note. If we can hold this base, then I'm going to be looking to get involved. So that's why I want to take a trade on the TQs. But what else do we got here? I got a message on my stomach. Tickers only one pull today. Okay, so yeah, we're doing the long here. Okay, Sharif, it is.
Yes, sir.
1 o'clock.
Oh, yep.
Right.
I'm ready.
We're ready here. I'm ready. Okay. I'm ready.
Here we go.
Let's go.
5:52:23.
Oh, hold on. Whoa. We're going long first, right? I believe. I got to double check here. We're going long. We're going long.
So 5:52:26.
5:52:26. Bang.
Sir.
Target.
So we're taking profits at 5:54:26.
54:26.
And then we're stopping out at 5:51:26.
5:51:26. All right, there we go. We are going. Oh, I typed that one in the wrong section. 5:51:26. There we go. We're going long here, folks. It is 1:02 to be exact. We're going live. We don't know the win yet, but that is 100 shares, and we are at March 13th. Right. All right, there we go. So yeah, guys, let's see what's going on with K-Web. Still hovering around this area, looking for this potential breakdown. I do like the overall market here at the low, Sharif, so I'll wait to get into a trade, but it looks like we want to put in a new low a day here.
All right, we're still involved in HMR here at the volume weighted average price. Let's see if we can get a pop-up through 4. We're basically break even on it. Any break below 80, I'll stop out on that one. FOSL still waiting for a 70 break. None forthcoming, but I'm kept optimistic about the higher lows that this one is putting in, incrementally higher lows with what seems to be a flat top essentially at $1.70. But there is now size posted there, but it's not a lot. I mean, it's about 2,000 lots, give or take, on a $1.70 name, but it's only done about 2.5 million shares on the day. So So maybe that is a lot for this one. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see what we get, and we won't get upset. There we go. HMR, we get the fill on the way up at 95s. Now I'm waiting at 99s. Let's layer some more orders north of 4, but this one might be a hard row to hoe into that $4 level. Now I perceive also more resistance if we do clear 4 at that 410 area. We kept bouncing off 410 to no end, which is why not initially, but I did get in at 410 over here once. Profitable, twice, not so profitable. The point is, I perceived resistance at 410, so if we do clear 4, it might not just be the story of clearing the whole dollar, but actually having to clear that 10 penny area as well, which obviously poses more of a problem. Keeping my eye certainly on QMCO, looking for a bit of a trade back into that 1460, 1450 area that we had initially. That was money for the dip trade there, and then so if we can get something akin to that, I'm certainly a buyer in and around that level if we can get it. All right, back to HMR. Sorry, I got to monitor all these trades at the same time. Let's see if this one can eke up above 4. It's showing me 97s right now with still lower highs and lower lows. So we'll wet the beak there and take a little bit of profit on this monster to de-risk just a skosh. So that's my look right now on HMR and FOSL, sir.
HMR, FOSL. All right, we got a lot of people here in the chat tagging me, so let's go through some of these things. If you knew Tesla would double within 2 months, would you make a ton of money with options? If you knew it would tank by half within 2 months, would you make a ton of money with options? Double question there from Eduardo. Eduardo, if I knew that Tesla was going to double in a couple of months, then I'm obviously taking out the mortgage and putting it on that, but unfortunately I don't know. But yeah, if you had that hunch, there's ways you can make a ton of money. Okay, so how do you set your stop loss for Tesla? Do you consider the ATR for the hour? Naveen Mangela asks. So no. If we're going from a technical standpoint, you can use an ATR-based stop for sure, but I like to use support and resistance. Let's see what Adair's up to.
Just be aware here, Alex Karp took the stage here for PLTR, not impacting the stock much. We had a push here, but we still made a lower high in this 3-minute chart. So Palantir on watch, lots of weakness in this name. Let's see if this keynote from Alex Karp at their AIP con can change things, guys. Back to you.
Great look there, Dara. Yeah, just want to remind everybody, AIP conference, basically the much awaited AI conference by Palantir. You know, it's a really interesting kind of setup they have. They have these workshops that they bring people in from other companies that get to use the AIP software. They're selling it, you know, as a practical solution to basically everything from manufacturing to supply chain management to military organization. So we'll have to wait and see what their actual TAM is, their total addressable market. Right now, we have all these use case scenarios, which sound great on paper, but let's actually wait to see if those commercial orders can come in, because still 2/3, believe it or not, of their money comes in from government contracts, which is not bad. Government contracts are, well, they were reliable. Yeah. I don't know about after Doge with, you know, them wanting to save $800 billion a year on what's it called, military spending. But I had opinions on this. So on the face of it, it looks bad for Palantir, right? You want a government cut, you don't want to be spending too much on the military, or you want to cut back and be more efficient. But isn't Palantir what makes you more efficient? Right. Like, is buying that $250 million well, they don't make the F-22 anymore, but the F-35, whatever it costs, $200 million, $175, that's where the inefficiencies lie. These low-cost drones that are going to be kind of AI operated or, you know, semi-operated, isn't that where the efficiencies come in? Right. So I don't think that cuts in government spending is necessarily bad for Palantir. I know on the face of it, it was, and probably short sellers used it to their advantage. The most, like what I was looking to do, getting options and stuff, like pushing it down.
To the down. You know what I mean? Oh, dude, you would have printed up a storm on that.
No, but it wasn't good. When we looked at the risk to reward, it was like what? It was like an $800 win on what, $600 risk?
Maybe something along those lines. You weren't about that live. But yeah, just to add to your point, you want to just see more diversification within their in their contracts and their customer base, essentially, right? So I mean, Palantir, it's done fairly well. I know that they're doing a bunch of Humvees, I believe, that are AI as well. So that would be interesting. So completely AI driven and just,
I don't know how the chat feels about that.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that? Do you guys think Palantir benefits from government cuts? I think they do, because I think that the big spending is on these huge aircraft and, many different things that are, let's call them dumb weapons, right? You know, that definitely not that next gen weapon that costs insane amounts, right? It's a physical good. It's so much harder to make margins on a physical good than it is on software. We all know what gross margins are like. For software, they're like 80 some odd percent. And the fact that NVIDIA has like 70% gross margins on their physical product is kind of like an industry anomaly, right? And that's what we always talk about there. I mean, I don't know how everybody feels about that. I'd like to hear what the chat has to say. Tag Joe or I, let us know what your opinion is. I'd love to get some feedback from you guys. Jeremy Newman, with that being said, are you bullish on stocks like Zena? We were just trading Zena yesterday, funny enough, and I made a joke that it's like my best friend's sister's name. I don't even have a company profile here on Zena, man, so I can't even answer that. Zenatech, I'm assuming, is the name of the company. We just don't have any information on them, so I can't answer that question if I don't have information. I'm quite proud of this trade, though. FOSL, there we go. We packed our patience on this one, and then we definitely got the flat top break through 170. Now we're right back at the highs, $1.74. FOSL at the highs right now. Let's set up some more beak wetters. We're going to wait for that high day break. We're going to wait at lucky number 77 on this, up 37%, but certainly a slow mover, no doubt about it. Innovation is always the first to be cut, says Spiderface. Are you thinking the old way, though? Perhaps maybe with like older style of thinking. I think that, Doge coming in and Donald Trump coming in might kind of change things a little bit. But I see your point. Innovation is less proven. It's the wild card, so to speak. We dismiss it and we go with the tried and true. So I see your point, I respect your point. I just think maybe the winds of change may be coming. Easy Bread 24. I think they will cut anything else before reducing spending on weapons, aircrafts, etc. I definitely agree with you in the sense of older thinking, but I think that what Pete Hegseth made very clear in his run-up to confirmation is that he wants a completely different look to the military. I don't think he went so far as to say that, the U.S. may have trouble in a war with China, but he's saying that the U.S. basically is not investing in the future methods and the future machines of warfare, and they're kind of stuck in the past a little bit. Let's just use this as an example. I come in with my F-22. F-22 is obviously stealth aircraft, so it's hard to see, but there's different ways that you can kind of detect it, right? And then China, instead of trying to invest in like the JF fighter, which they do, by the way, they don't have them in the same number. We're on a two-shot here, by the way, guys. So imagine they send about like 100 different drones. Guys, can we switch to the two-shot? Thank you. Imagine they send like 100 different drones after that one F-22 that cost $250 million, and those drones cost about $100,000.
Okay.
So like the amount being spent to take out what you got is way lower, and so that's what Pete Hegseth was saying. I think.
Okay, that makes I mean, that makes plenty of sense too. And you mentioned before that you think that drone is the next thing, the next extreme tool in warfare. You watch some of these videos in Ukraine, Sharif. It's just like that buzzing sound is absolutely terrifying. So I agree with that. And less manpower needs to be used as well too. Cost efficient, less manpower, and you can do a lot of damage with some of these drones. So good look there, Sharif.
I don't know what kind of sound effects you guys are doing up there, but the chat keeps saying that they hear fart noises. So I don't know if you guys are hitting anything on your side over there, but
how is that?
Like, don't. Okay. All right. So Joe, you're stretching in your chair, like very disappointed with yourself, bro. Like people are very upset about these farts. I'm like, yo, there's farts happening. I'm like,
I don't even think my chair makes that noise.
No, neither does mine.
Yeah,
bro.
so I don't know. It was my fault. So blame it on me. That's okay. I can take.
Shit, I don't know, man. People were saying like, Sharif's like pretending like nothing happened, and I'm like, nobody's farting here, bro. Like I don't know. Like it's funny. Anyway.
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Maybe I'll make sure I'll go on mute. Yeah, I won't stretch and I won't. Maybe I'll just go on mute. So.
It's not your fault, bro. It's the chair's fault. I just didn't know what the hell was happening. Whether the production team.
So
was
now everybody's
fart
gonna. Now we're talking.
noises behind our back, and we didn't hear them or what?
Is that now we got to buy fart coin?
It sounds like someone was blowing their nose. Okay, so you guys, so everybody heard it then. Okay.
All right, everybody. All right. So
Maybe we'll.
I'll mute it when
maybe
I'll
it's an
mute
omen
it.
to buy fart coin.
That's what I just said. Yeah, I literally just said. I'm like, hey, maybe we should grab some fart coin if it's going.
He
to be
who
that
smelt it dealt it. He who denied it supplied it. You ever heard that one?
Did Shreve. Yeah, when I was in like grade 4 or 5.
What's wrong with that, bro? So what? You can't. It's grade 4.
You can't
grade
leave it
4
back,
liturgy, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, what do you got there, Joseph?
Yeah, we're starting to break down here in K-Web, guys. So let's see if we can run through some of these resistance zones. Joe the Ripper, yeah. All right.
I was wondering what the hell's going on, dude.
So
I'm like,
right.
I don't hear no farts.
All right, so yeah, exactly. I mean, hey, it's funny. Someone in the chat said, Joe, how's it like sitting beside Sharif, who eats 12 eggs a day? I'm like,
I never rip any
Yeah,
farts,
I know.
bro.
I'm like, yeah, I've been pretty
I've got a
good.
decent
Yeah,
digestive
exactly.
system, but
so
can't speak.
well, I mean, you got touched by the food the Chilean food that you had on the weekend.
Bro,
So
that was a night.
Okay, so I'm sorry, production team. I will start to mute myself when I stretch because I stretch often, quite often. So here we go, looking to trade below at these lows of the range here. We're gonna add to this position if we break down. Yeah, there we go. 50 knock there. You can't with Sharif's jokes. There we go.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah, it's all good.
Dude, I didn't hear a thing, and everyone was complaining. What was
I don't know. But just let me know if you could just tell me stop stretching or something along those lines. Yeah, we're taking another leg down here, Pathic in the Qs. Let's see what else. No, eggs aren't that expensive up here, guys. We're not in the egg session, the risk session. I guess I was referring to.
Yeah, because we have like a conglomerate up here. They protect the prices. So like literally all the egg farmers have to sell their eggs to this one kind of, let's call it a union, like an industry union. They all sell to them for a fixed price, and then they distribute it to everybody else. Kind of socialist, I get that. So don't come at me in the chat, Americans. That's just the system that we're under. However, it does have the effect of basically not getting spikes in prices. So when things are expensive, we don't really feel it. Like when you guys have $7 a dozen eggs, we're still at like $3.50, $3.25, and that's Canadian, so it's probably like $2 something American. Think about that. Not a bad look. We do that for milk, dairy, and eggs, which is why there's such big tariffs on American dairy products, on American, what's it called? Yeah, just milk and dairy products in general. Like cheese has like 250%. Oh, by the way, it's after a certain amount's already come in. So it's just like, say, there's a free trade allowance. So I'm just giving you a random number of up to like a ton. And then anything after a ton gets slapped with that 250.
The
just giving you a random number.
All right, that's a good look there. But yeah, here we go, guys. Tony, sorry about that, Tony. But here we go, 35.70, a couple cents. We're gonna have to add heavily in order for this trade to really start to work out, and then possibly head to VWAP. But we need the momentum to the downside to start to pick up. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I can't believe the fact that we're continuously making new lows here in the market, and we are not bouncing. So, Sharif, it is not pretty, and I'm quite surprised, to be honest with you, that we're continuing to bleed. But that's what I meant. The market can stay irrational a lot longer than you can stay sane, and it seems to be the case. Down 2% here in the TQs.
Yes, sir. All right, let's have a look at the MAG, because I've said absolutely nothing about the MAG today. Let's see what is doing well, what is not doing that well. What do we got over here? So let's start with Meta, top left-hand corner. What's Meta on the day? Wow, okay, Meta's down big, 4 3/4% on Meta. Meta did lose 600. Now we're at 590. So we were at 740, I think maybe 3 weeks ago. So we could be $200 lower here on Meta, maybe by mid next week if we hit 540. I don't know. I don't think it's beyond the realm of possibility. Meta down as well. How's Softy doing? Softy at the day's low. I know Adara covered these, and basically I think 6 out of the 7 were at day's low. It's kind of the same business right now. MSFT down well below 400 now, 378 on MSFT. It's down 1 1/4%. Goggles continues to get clapped down into 160. Definitely faring better than some others like Tesla, but goggles also down 2 3/4. Into the low of day goes 160 incoming. Looks like on Google. It got shellacked before this, and it continues to get shellacked now. Amazon, how's the Zon doing over here? How's that Bezos shelf looking? It looks like a long time. Oh, we were above it yesterday, actually. That's not even that bad. I got to tell you, 192 here on AMZN. It's also bleeding 3.5% almost here for Amazon. It lost 192 while I was talking. More days lows right now. The NQ is getting clapped, Joseph. 2.5% in negatory land. I'm getting excited because I've been looking at them all day. So AMZN get clapped. The dead one, Apple, it ain't dead today, baby. It is on the way down. 210 incoming. You called that one, by the way. 210 incoming on AAPL within moments. We are at 210.86. This one's also down 2 4/5. So Apple getting clapped as well. Tesla, by far the worst of the bunch right now. 5% negative land, and it's been using VWAP as a fantastic entry for a short once, twice, and you guys guessed it, Obi dang thrice. Tesla down 5.1/5%. How's my friend NVIDIA doing? Well, this one seems to be faring the best of the bunch. So very, very kind of consolidative level, 117 to the high side with about 114 to the low side. So this one is not down and to the right. NVIDIA looks the best of the bunch, quite frankly, and this could be an interesting range trade. Dara, tell us, what's that headline on NVIDIA?
Yeah, Bloomberg News reporting here, Sharif, that apparently an official from the UAE is looking to press the U.S. on the ability to buy more NVIDIA AI chips. So I guess the UAE wanting more NVIDIA AI chips. This is, of course, reported by Bloomberg. So keep an eye here on NVDA. Right now, as Sharif mentioned, holding up better than a lot of these Mag 7 tickers right now. Back to you.
Absolutely, Adara. Good call there. Yeah, the UAE's been buying these chips hand over fist, Joseph. A lot of speculation was they were selling them to China, and that's why their Biden administration didn't kind of want to sell to a little bit of the Middle Eastern countries. And we found out it was Singapore. It was like $350 million went to Singapore, and like I think only 2% of that actually stayed. Most of them got shipped out.
Wow.
Yeah, remember that whole Singapore story?
That is pretty crazy.
That is it. So NVIDIA getting, well, I don't want to say getting clapped. It's faring the best out of the bunch. How's my friend Uber doing? Uber also doing quite well on the day. I mean, it's down 1.2%, but also kind of stuck within a range. At least we're above yesterday's low. We did breach 70 yesterday, but we reclaimed 70. You can kind of see that into the close there. We did reclaim that $70 level. We'll have to see if we're able to hold on to 70 today. Uber, $60 is absolute money. I don't know if it's money going forward. It has been money for the past couple of years, but the winds of change may be coming on these markets. So we're going to see if Uber can, number one, hold 70, and then we'll talk about that $60 level when and if it comes into play. Netflix lost 900. I know I include Uber and Netflix. They're not Mag 7 names. I get that, but I throw them in with the Mag. This one also lost 900. Another tough day for Netflix. I think this thing was almost at 1,100 a few weeks ago, down 2 4/5%, defending that 892. Something tells me we're going to see 890 quick as you like. Now, on the year, the following is the up or down percentage on the Mag 7. Let's start with the monster NVIDIA, down 14.5% year to date. 14.5% year to date on NVIDIA. Tesla, down 41 2/3% year to date. Amazon, 12.3% year to date. Google, 14%. GOOGL, 14% year to date. Apple, 15.75% year to date. Meta is holding on for dear life. It is up 0.79% on the year. It's essentially flat on the year, which is saying a lot because the other ones are not. So META, barely green on the year. And then last but certainly not least, the soft one, Joseph, down 10% on the year. But Uber is still up 17%.
On the year?
On the year, dude. Because we had that big move up on 60. Remember we popped
60,
into 80 exchange.
You were grabbing it
tough,
at those levels too.
I picked it up a little bit,
nice,
yeah.
Nice.
Not a big position, obviously, but you know we'll get in there. And there's a risk still with Uber, though. Let's call a spade, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, we with Waymo coming out with the robotaxi, however we feel about Tesla at the moment, they could do an association with them, or they could kind of go out on their own.
Yeah, and just
right?
do
We
their
don't
own
know.
thing. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think it would be in Tesla's best interest to maybe hop on, put robotaxi into an app like Uber, or to just kind of go on its own?
I don't know, man. People that have Teslas really like the app. You can do everything from the app.
So there's already a Tesla-made app. Okay.
I don't know. And Google, like the way, we don't have Waymo obviously here, but what I hear from the jurisdictions that do, people love the Waymo app, bro. Like they're all about it.
Okay,
you know,
so
you hail the car, you get what you want, you can control the temperature, this, that, and the other, all from the app. Yeah. Okay, quite good.
So there you go.
You know, there's people that actually, they don't like human drivers because they say human drivers can have, you know, like you can have a bad day, you can drive aggressively, or something going
or they
on
go the
with
wrong way.
life.
Yeah.
And so they actually call for Waymo. They don't want a human driver, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I thought that was like quite interesting.
Well, I think I agree with it.
Get in a car.
Yeah, I guess the introverts maybe not wanting to talk to some people. So I don't.
You can request a silent driver.
A silent driver as well too. So we talked about this before. Sure. I know Ramin said she had a little incident as well too. With that, but I don't mind. I don't mind having a conversation. It's like barbershop talk, kind of almost at that point. But at the same time, maybe once in a while, I wouldn't mind to have a autonomous car where I don't have to talk to anybody, can sit in there, do your work, and not have to worry about someone driving erratic or anything along those lines. So yeah, interesting stuff. I don't know what I'll do. I still haven't drove anything. But I was actually thinking about this the other day. So if we go like full autonomy, how is this FSD in underground parking lots? Can you come out of them yet?
Yeah, but you can summon the car.
You can summon the car?
In a parking lot. So it comes to you.
I'm being key.
Not
underground. Okay, so
really
there you go. Yeah.
Really good. It's going to have to use, it could use the camera system to navigate around the cars. He doesn't have LiDAR, and he's insistent he's not going to put LiDAR. We know that whole story. But I'm thinking theoretically possible you could use a system, the camera system exclusively without GPS with underground. Could you?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I still need to hit the fob so you can open up the doors. I don't think it would.
It's true though. If you're not getting a signal underground,
then how
can you open up the car? You're gonna have to go close to the car.
You have to go to the car. So here we go. Here, guys, in KWeb, I tried to actually get an additional fill at the break of this support level here, but I didn't get anything. All right, I didn't get anything. It just went past my bid and then continued to the downside. I took a little bit more off just in case we squeeze. But not too bad of a trade. I would have liked to double up my size here, running for that move into the volume-weighted average price, but I didn't get the opportunity, and I'm not going to chase it all the way down here. So again, I mentioned time and time again how actually starting to get a little bit more surprised that the market has continued to bleed off here, guys, without necessarily bouncing. Katina Man's long off of 114.5s. But it doesn't look like the Qs necessarily want to bounce back here, guys. There's nothing signaling like, hey, we're done selling. So here we go, continuing that move. But quite shocking. We gap down. We fill up the majority of this intraday gap here, and then just continue to move lower and lower. We can construct a trend line and see like, hey, why are we rejecting all these levels? And you can see a lower high, and then eventually we just break through some of these pre-market lows and then continue to the south side. So there it is on the overall market and the Qs. Put it in the chat as well. I want to see what your guys' opinion is on KWeb here. I am short KWeb. Do we break VWAP? Yes or no? And I'm curious to see what you guys have to say. It's looking like we might, but again, we went on a nice strong run here in the earlier hours of the session, and now just hovering around, trading in a zone, but breaking through support, which is also a positive sign. But we didn't pull back yet enough, I think, in order for us to completely break down. So yeah, yes or no is the answer. Do we break through VWAP or do we not? So have faith. 3 minutes to go on the Qs. What are you, Patrick? Yeah, I think I know what you're saying. Why are you surprised, Joseph? Trump had destroyed the boom we are in. It's funny, Mark, because my buddy Greg V and I are talking about this, and it was also just a thought to myself, right? Like, the American economy seems somewhat robust if you want to compare it to the rest of the world. GDP is still relatively strong. Inflation on the way down. Maximum employment. It seemed pretty strong. So why tamper with it? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that question. But the more I think about it, and the more you kind of just dig in, open the hood and dig in a little bit, GDP was there, maximum employment. Yeah, there was a little bit of an issue with inflation, but that was on the decline as well too. So what do you necessarily need to tamper with if everything's somewhat okay? I don't know. This is just me thinking out loud. And everybody knows the old saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And I don't think the American economy was broken at any point, but it's so, or is going to. But now okay. So is that your weakness there?
That's for me and you, bro.
Oh, wow.
Right, so we can split it. There we go. Chocolate chip cookie, just a regular run-of-the-mill.
You know what?
Cookie. I'm thinking that probably has about calories.
That's all you. That's all you, my guy.
You're not gonna have 100 calories,
dude. I don't. I'm not a cookie guy. If anything, I'm an oatmeal cookie. That's
oatmeal?
the only cookie I.
So you're not a chocolate chip guy?
No, never.
So you don't like chocolate?
I never said that.
Okay.
I never said that.
Okay, I'm putting words in your mouth.
I never said that. But chocolate chip, that's you then. It looks fresh. Who brought those?
The caterer. Obviously.
Oh, okay.
I could have maybe already put a couple in
the pocket in the old.
Yeah. Are we going to Adara?
We're going to Adara.
All right, get it, Adara.
Thank you, Sharif. Min-Chi Kuo with more comments here on Apple AI, which are not positive, saying that developing great AI services was never going to happen overnight, so the delay of Apple Intelligence was totally understandable. But he said the issue was that the company likely already knew they would not be completing it on time when they initially announced it at their development conference last June. He said that the company dealt with shareholder pressure, and he said that the way they handled Apple Intelligence's Siri development not going as planned, he said they didn't break the news the right way, and they should learn from how Steve Jobs handled the situation with the iPhone 4 PR crisis. So really, we have Min-Chi Kuo not loving Apple and its Apple Intelligence specifically. In case you missed it earlier today, he issued a note saying that their Apple Intelligence is clearly not boosting their sales, and there are some concerns with regards to shipments. Guys, back to you.
Oh boy,
Min-Chi.
Tough one.
Yeah. So Sharif, I was just saying this while you were gone, and I want to hear your opinion on this because we're having some interesting. Sorry, Katie Damster. I'm sorry that we can't be friends, but I'm sure we'll be able to find some more. But what I was referring to, is I was saying, okay, when Donald Trump came into office, the American economy was relatively robust, GDP strong, maximum employment. Wait, was that a look? You don't agree with that point?
No, I was reading something. No.
Okay.
You didn't even make your point.
Okay, yeah. So GDP is strong, right? Still growing at a relatively strong 2% or whatever it may be. Maximum employment is there, and inflation on the way down. So why come in and try to fix what's necessarily not broken? But a lot of people in the chat are chiming in saying, well, it's the debt that may be an issue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable.
No, right? Yeah. You can't continuously lift the debt ceiling time and time again.
The debt to GDP prohibitive.
Yeah,
we got to get it under control a little.
Yeah, that's fair. So I guess with that being said, some short-term pain, maybe mid to long-term pain for the better off of the whole country.
It's just like the two different theories, man. There's that macro Keynesian macroeconomics where it's just let me prop up one area of the economy to boost the other, so one is kind of break even and the one profits. Mm-hmm. So one loses, one profits. And obviously the government's the loser here because it's spending to the benefit of the private industry. And there were times where that made sense, Joseph. It was a legitimate theory in economics. Everybody studies it. If you study economics, you study it. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, I think it kind of went into overdrive, like that supercharged mode where spending got crazy. And now we got to get things under control.
Stimulus into the economy during COVID, et cetera.
Bro, I mean, we all know that data point. The amount of money printed from World War II to like 2020 was the same amount that was printed from 2020.
Yeah, or whatever.
Like
during
something. Fact check us on that chat. But
no, I know that stat.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a tough look and it's ugly, man.
Let's see.
And nobody's gonna enjoy this. Who's going to be like, oh, great cuts? Well, maybe if taxes come down, then we can kind of get behind that. But nobody's going to like their actual benefits being cut, dude. Like, I mean, I don't want to see anybody suffer. Absolutely not.
No.
A lot of people rely on this stuff. But the fact of the matter is it sustainable?
No.
And that's the question.
I think, and I talked to you about this before. I think you can't continuously increase the debt ceiling like every couple of years or whatever it may be. So yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah, and you bring up a really good point. I think a lot of people have different views on that, and I respect all views. Guys, I got in at VWAP on QMCO. We just went the beak twice there. It did spike up into the high 29s. I'm long 10s. I'm layering my orders now. Anything below 1380, I'm gone. So let's layer a few more orders up into the 40 penny area. Let's see if this one can spike. QMCO has been respectful of price action, support, and resistance. It was also respectful of the volume weighted average price, at least initially. I'm talking about that time from 11:05 till 11:30 when it was doing the dance with no pants with that volume weighted average price. Let's see if it respects it this time. Just because it did initially doesn't mean it does this time. It's a prohibitive spread, as I've mentioned many times. It's wide for a stock this price, and one that's up this amount on the day. So we're gonna keep eyes on it there, no question about it. Lots of different comments here, so let's try to go through some of them. Fortuna, Joseph, if Trump can't lower debt interest rate, then they will owe more than $1 trillion in interest. He needs the markets to crumble so everyone gets behind bonds and the US dollar. That's exactly what I was saying earlier on, my friend. That is kind of my theory, and I'm not happy about it. I'm invested in the equity markets, not the bond markets, but I really do believe they got to get debt payments under control. The only way to do that is to lower bond yields. The only way to get bond yields down is to increase the bond price. We've talked about this before. What else we got over here? Shout out to Raider Trader. Didn't see him in the chat. Shout out to him. The Piper. I'm a Brit and I don't like orange, but I see Lutkin makes sense. It might actually help long term. We'll see, bro. This is a huge experiment that I don't think we've gone through in the modern era. So this will be obviously a new one. We have seen the U.S. rely on tariffs, but we were talking about a fundamentally different economy with a fundamentally different world. I think in the earlier part of the 20th century, the late 19th century. Adara, what is up?
Sharif, you know what? I know it's not up, but it's a censure. It's actually down on the day in today's lows. Martin Shkreli, otherwise known as the Pharma Bro, issuing a short report on the stock saying that he thinks it's a good short with an insane valuation. Also worth noting, Accenture actually reports earnings before the bell on Wednesday. So ahead of that report, we have Martin Shkreli getting in here on with a short take there, guys. Back to you.
There's my boy.
Boom.
There's my boy. I told you.
Pretty good.
It's only so long you can hold out. And it's soft. It's not bad.
You ready for
switch? Did you switch? Are you a chocolate chip cookie guy now? Okay.
I think it would be better without the chocolate in it.
Seriously? What is this? It's just cookie dough then, right? Yeah. All right.
I got a hot take here.
Go.
You ready for it?
I'm ready. I don't know if they're ready for it, but I'm ready.
Chocolate
Yep.
in cookies
Okay.
is like pineapple
Uh-oh.
on pizza.
Don't say it.
On pizza. Hot
What time
take.
is this? I'm showing
Yeah,
you.
right.
1:36.
Neil's going to
Mark
freak
the
out.
time.
Yeah, there we go. Hot take of the day.
NJ Actuary. Sharif is right. Get bonds up, lower bond yields, lower debt payments. My man, I'm telling you, I have a feeling something's afoot here. We may not get the same type of year we've gotten the last few years. We'll see. Tez, Sharif likes my views the most, though. Let's get that straight, chat. Oh, okay, my man. Marking his territory. Shout out to Tez. Okay. All right, what else we got here? Eddie Art. Sharif, yes, but between making low income suffer or raise more tax, they chose the first one. Debt has to be topped for sure. Good point, my man. You bring up a fantastic point. Yeah, and it always seems to be certain members of society that suffer the most. Sadly, that does seem to be the case over and over again. Point well taken, and I respect your opinion. What else we got over here? Joseph, let's see what people are saying. What else? Go ahead.
Yeah, there we go, guys. It's time to pay some bills. E-Signal, new traders, listen up. First month, free. That's right. We're waiving fees. Trade smarter, not harder. Upgrade to Elite, analyze, strategize, capitalize. Our platform, it's everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data, global market at your fingertips, all in one platform. Don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description, folks. There it is.
There it is, baby. There it is.
Yeah.
All right, we're still doing the dance here with absolutely no pants with QMCO. We're neither break even nor in the money. It depends on whether you're looking on the ask or the bid. We're 12 pennies in the money or we're 2 pennies in the money. This one though, FOSL, giving me that finger, baby, because it topped all the way into 174. Double top now, guys, FOSL. So the best we got here was that 173 print. And we were waiting at the lofty area of 177. I've got one more beak wetter on this. Now I'm technically break even on FOSL. So my deal is anything below 160. I'm just going to give this one room. If it wants to bounce, and maybe I can get something around 170 or high 160s. I've moved up my stop already from 158 to account for this area low into that 160 area on FOSL. We'll see if this one wants to bounce back off or what. Chocolate chip with cookies. What's the matter with him? I don't know, Patty. He didn't like chocolate chip cookies. I had to convince him. Shout out to BPI, baby. Big Patty Ice in the chat. What, Adara? Shout out. Adara's shouting you out too, Patty. We miss you around here, bro. So we're going to keep an eye on QMCO. That's the one that I've still got shares on over here. And we've been hanging around the volume weighted average price for a while. But let me tell you my honest opinion. All the candles bouncing off VWAP, each and every successive 5-minute candle has a lower high. So let me show you exactly what I mean on the chart. Here's the look. So good move up. You know, you got to like the fact that it's hanging around VWAP, but I'm trying to look for indications as to what the next, step of the price action will be. And this candle here, 120. There's the high there, 1453. And then the subsequent candle, lower high, another lower high, and another lower high. All the while, it's kind of maintaining that lower low in and around 14. This could manifest into a flat bottom break. I was able to extract a couple of pieces off this bad boy, but I'm still holding the majority of it. So that's full disclosure there. We'll see if this one wants to bounce. I'm talking about QMCO. HMR. Finding a second wind over here in the 380. So this one does actually respect price action support and resistance. I tried to take this on VWAP when I got in here, completely negating what had happened at 80s. So I missed that one. That's on me. Could have had a bounce trade at 380. I think I said 1380. I meant 380. The other side, that's a good side. That's the bull side. The bad side of that is however way you look at this, we're still putting in lower highs. So that 480 pop, that's a day high and it's an area high. Then 454 pop. And then the beak wetter I got there, 430. And now we're rejecting off 420. So it's 4 lower highs in a row on this monster. I'm talking about HMR. So despite the fact that it got the pop off and is above VWAP, it could still trend downwards. It's been showing you that lower high, lower low position. Yeah, Patty wasn't very happy about the fact that...
He texted you?
Oh, yeah. He was very disappointed. Look what he said.
Uh-oh.
There's no saving this guy.
Uh-oh.
I'm like, Joe,
he said
it's
that?
over, bro.
Oh,
and then he said,
no.
chocolate chip cookies. What's the matter with him?
Oh, my
Yeah, you
God.
disappointed
Patty,
Patty, bro.
Hey, but that's my guy, too. So if Patty's disappointed in you, you know you went wrong somewhere.
We missed
no,
Patty.
Oh, no. I mean, oh, yeah, you seen him the other day, right?
I didn't. I wasn't here.
Oh, you weren't here? You left?
'cause I had to
Oh,
go to
dude,
work,
he's been
so
on an all-meat diet. Really, yeah. So he's looking phenomenal. It's like... Really,
He doesn't
really
say
good.
anything.
He didn't tell you that or anything.
Exactly.
But he's been on the
See it in
steak.
person.
He's like steak, eggs, and just like whole proteins, and that's it. And
That's
guys
my guy,
looking,
bro. That's
guys
my
looking
guy.
D's these days, man.
Is he actually?
Yeah, man.
What an animal, man. Patty, you're not saying anything. Like,
Yeah,
you're not doing nothing.
Oh, there you go. It's a good,
Trump apparently was talking. It was moments ago. Who's he meeting with there? NATO Secretary General in the Oval Office. This is not live, guys. But he was meeting with the NATO Secretary General moments ago. We'll see whether that even means anything to the market or what the situation is, okay? Now, back to QMCO. This is breaking down, and I will get stopped out for the remaining amount. I was able to get a couple of beak wetters, but it is now below my area. I put my stop below 80s, so anything at 77s triggers an out. QMCO up, but breaking down now below VWAP. Uh-oh.
Oh.
31 pounds he's lost.
Yeah, man.
Bro, are you kidding me?
Yeah, man. He's been crushing.
I don't even
it,
know
dude.
what he looks like with 31 pounds.
Different
That's
dude.
insane.
Looking good, man. Guys looking good, so.
31 pounds down. Yeah, I guessed that, Patty. I didn't think you were 31 pounds up. What a guy, bro.
You had to clarify the down. Yeah, I told you, he's looking good,
He
bro.
sent me the arrow down.
You got the nice chiseled jawline going on and everything like that. I'm like, whoa, I'm like, who is this guy? Yeah,
bro?
man, he's looking really good, man.
Unreal. Shout out to you, Patty, man. A hell of a guy. And
class.
Yeah,
class.
all class, bro. Let's go. Even Darwin's shouting you out. Let's go, BPI.
Yeah, big.
What else we got in the chat, guys? Paul MCRP short at 390, looking for 346. Let's see what Paul is talking about there. I just got stopped out of QMCO, by the way. Let's look at MCRP. What is this? Micropolis Holdings. Okay, let's. Oh wow, this IPO'd. Like on the 7th, that's Friday, right? That was Friday? Yes. The 7th was Friday, so IPO. I don't have much more information. CRP. What is this company? I have nothing on it. Okay, well, I guess because it's newer. Oh, I had this trade already. What am I talking about? Yeah, this is below VWAP. So he's short, I'm assuming. So where are you at here? Are you short, my man? Short at 390. Good look. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on this one, especially if it can stay below this volume-weighted average price. Watch out with this one, though. It's bamboozling. It's got wide range per candles. These MX names tend to be a bit crazy. BP, wouldn't eat half of a bagel, but that cookie is not a probable? Yeah, that's about 100 calories that I just consumed there. The bagel is probably going to be 350, 400. How many calories is it?
I wouldn't even know, man.
Find out. Let's find out. Let's not even guess.
An everything bagel. How much calories are in an everything bagel?
Yeah. How many calories are in an everything bagel? Let's see what they say here, Joseph. Show me. 250 to 300.
250,
yeah, it wasn't that bad.
So there we go.
Yeah.
Half of that. So.
Not too bad. And then you got to add 50 calories with cream cheese, 100 calories with butter, or 90 calories with peanut butter.
Oh, okay.
These are all 1 tablespoon each.
Yeah. I was never. Were you a Nutella guy or peanut butter? I never liked Nutella.
I don't allow Nutella in my house.
Okay, that's cool.
Because it will not last.
It's gone.
I'll finish the entire
The weakness.
thing. Yeah,
weakness.
absolutely.
Okay, yeah, all right.
And like I can say no, but I don't want to.
Oh no! Hopefully I didn't put something in your mind there.
I don't bring it.
Yeah.
I don't bring it.
I got to cover something here for Green Guru. He's been asking me kindly multiple times here, Sharif. So can you take a look at C3AI? They asked me. So here we go. One thing that we need to note, they reported not too long ago, or actually earlier in the year. But here we go, 54%. Excuse me, off of those highs. Off of those highs here, so we'll continue to watch. We're not going to continue, but here you go. This is not a good look for this name, and you can go to Big Bear AI as well too. BBAI. So that's cool. So here we go. BBAI. Same look here. So we could 71% here, guys. All right. So 71% down. C3AI down about 45% off of those all-time highs. I don't know about grabbing this name. Look how long this consolidation phase is here, guys. And I just don't know enough about the company to have enough confidence in it to say, hey, grab it off the lows here. And I don't think you necessarily want to. As you are running into some support levels, and with the broader market being extremely weak, it's not good for these smaller cap to mid cap names, as you can tell. IWM continuing to drag lower, and especially the tech heavy sector is just really weak right now, guys. So you don't go all in at once. If you're looking to swing this or invest in the company, I suggest that you break this up into quarters, fifths, whatever it may be. I said this before, but just don't put all your capital into one space, or in layman's terms, don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, guys. Apparently, Bitcoin just broke 80,000 again. It is down now, $80,005 and $2. So Bitcoin on the way to break down right now. BTC at $80,000. But guys, nothing has been spared today. I mean, we went through the Mag 7. Let's put BTC. We went through the Mag 7. There is really nothing that has been spared on the day. I mean, Intel. That's basically it. And it's trading at lows, to be quite frank. Well, no, it's still lower. I mean, 23.13 is the low. Intel seems to have a buyer at the $0.50. But to make the point here, $80,000 in focus right now on Bitcoin. It's down 3.5%, 3.4%. I know everybody's percentage down or up on the day is a little different depending on when your timer starts, but I've got 3.4 at the moment. So obviously a tough week for these markets. It could be a tough time for a little while longer, guys. I don't think we're done selling off. And even if we are done selling off, I don't think we pop up with the same vigor. We heard Michael Noss give us that data point early in the year. He was telling us about the third year of a bull market. The third year definitely not as strong as the first 2 years. If that is the case, then maybe we see a 1 or 2 or 5% increase on the S&P by the end of the year, but certainly not the 20 some odd percent that we had prior to that. So I'm going to hold my portfolio in the same way. I haven't been adding, nor will I add. I'm going to continue to digest all what's happening right now, and then I'll make my decision. If that means getting a crappier price because we bounce back up, so be it. But you've got to draw the line somewhere anyway. So that's my thinking with these markets. We are in a fundamentally different time than we have been in the last 4 years. You're not going to get that kind of government spending over and over and over to prop up these markets, or it doesn't seem like for the moment anyway. So I got stopped at a QMCO, as I mentioned, but I'm actually interested in getting back in. That was, until I saw, we only had about 10 minutes left on the show. So yeah, this one is interesting. It's below VWAP, but it's definitely finding a bit of a bid here. I'm looking at QMCO on the side chart. It's up strong, it's up big, 22 and 2/3%, but well off its highs right now, and almost $1.50 off the high of the day. So maybe we'll see that one a little bit longer. The only trade I've got left here is FOSL. It did drop right back into my entry after moving up to that $0.75. So I really don't have anything other than that. I see QBTS is working its way back into the volume weighted average price. Let's look at that one. See what that one's up to. Someone mentioned that to me today, so it found its way onto the side chart. Is this New York? Yeah, it is. Okay. Nice 1 penny spread on QBTS, so very manageable there. It's at 660, which is the volume weighted average price, but it's also previously price action resistance over here. So let's see if QBTS can regain and stay above VWAP, but it's coming into an interesting area because we bounced off this area 665 before. Do we this time use it as support, or sorry, resistance? Previously, it was support, Joe.
Sharif, I know you said, hey, you were referring to what I was talking about on the options chain here, guys, with Apple regarding it. 210.53 are the lows.
Good call, man.
I told you guys, man, look out for these in this market. Look out for these high levels of open interest on the chain, especially in the direction of what the underlying is moving. All right. So all I did was I just pulled up this week's expiration cycle, and I'm like, what can act as possible support? And what happens is that you get price attracted to these levels, and then you bounce off of them. Are we getting that bounce here in Apple? No, not necessarily, but you can see that we traded exactly down to 210.53. Okay, so that's right at that highest levels of open interest. Last week we did the exact same thing via Meta and the overall market. So keep an eye out for these levels. Keep an eye out on the options chain if you have access to live data. And in the morning, do your due diligence. Whatever underlying asset you're looking to trade, go through the chain and say, hey, where do I have these levels? What strike prices have the most open current contracts? And then use those to gauge where we could trade from an intraday perspective. And it's going to give you a nice range that be like, hey, we got a lot on the call side, we got a lot on the put side. Let's see which direction the market chooses, and then use that as a potential target as well too, guys. So good look there on the Apple and the options chain. So still in this K-Web bleeding slowly. I mentioned that I would have liked to double my size right at the break of the support level, but I never caught a fill. So I took some out. I'm not going to chase it. I'm waiting for it to break VWAP and then head to the sell side, but I'm going to need some confirmation. I might short at the top of this range, or add to the position at the top of this range if it holds and we trade sideways a little bit longer. But it looks like the market is getting somewhat of a bounce Tesla's starting to break through some key resistance zones right now. Actually, I'm going to get all out of this long here. Actually, this short here, guys, because I don't. There we go. We caught the. Did we catch the fill? Not quite yet, but this is going to be my all out as we come and test this range. I'm just not sized accordingly, and so I don't really want to partake in it. I want to trade Tesla because if we're breaking through key resistance zones and possibly going to head in towards the volume weighted average price. So I'll wait for a bounce, and I'm going to hopefully get a fill here. But you can see that we traded it from the lows, held them very well, so multiple touches at these levels, and then now rejecting them and climbing higher. As the market was selling off, Tesla held relatively strong, so that's a positive signal. There we go. We just got filled on K-Web. We're all out of that short. So not a bad trade there. And here we go. Waiting for this test of VWAP in TSLL, holding of the range, possible breakdown too, guys. So going to be patient. Wait, I don't know how much this market can recover. The volume isn't necessarily there, but NVDA, Katina Man's in it from 114. Hey. Tesla's at the top of the range running into the volume weighted average price. Some big names running into some key levels here.
You a car guy, Joe?
I'm not as much as you and Randy.
It's not a competition, but you a car guy. Have you seen the new electric Dodge Charger?
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah, I've seen it. Well, it's not real, is it?
It's real.
Okay, I thought I seen somebody. I heard. Well, see, the thing I seen a meme about it. People were making fun of it, or
yeah. Well, it's make funnable.
Yeah.
Is that a word? The reason I say that, okay, so it's electric, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't make noise. It's not a V8 or V10. There's no supercharger or anything in there. So they had this insanely smart idea to put huge speakers with like huge subwoofers in the exhaust pipes, so that when you're revving your electric vehicle, everyone outside knows you're driving a Charger. Like, I don't understand this obsession with making electric vehicles sound like
I like the hum on the
hum, but they don't put speakers outside, Joe, to kind of.
No, I mean I like the hum. I like the hum of electric vehicles, like that little little jewels. Yeah.
I think it's a little lame, but to be quite honest with you, the point
I'm listening.
is,
No, hold on, time out. Finish that sentence, please. No, you can say you don't. If you don't like my opinion, that's all right. Okay. Yeah, hey, that's what I am. That's what I am. Yeah.
It's just to me, it's interesting, like why people can't move on from the
electric.
Like,
yeah,
why they need that noise to make them happy. The thing's got 740 horsepower, bro. It thing can fly. Why do we need to make it rumble like an ICE engine? It's not an ICE engine. Anyway, so Marquise Brownlee, MKHD, right? A very popular guy. Reviewed it. I was talking to Randy about it today. We were having a good chuckle about like how Stellantis is kind of completely out of touch with what people want. He wasn't nice to it. I'm talking about MKH, Marquise Brownlee.
That's who I seen do it. Marquise, that's who I seen do it. Marquise Brownlee, yeah.
Absolute flop. I mean, do you guys in the chat? Do you guys want electric vehicles that make noise and sound like internal combustion engines? Or if I'm not asking those who don't want electric vehicles, but if you want an electric vehicle, is that something you want? Do you want that noise to go with it? Randy said no. I'm gonna have to second that as well. I say no as well. And here's the funny thing. I was telling Randy this. So inside you get the noise as well. So not just outside, so the driver can hear it. But here's the funny thing. It doesn't shift. It's like, there's no.
That's funny. That's funny.
So it's not only dumb, but it's poorly executed as well. So
probably not.
There you go, everyone. No, V8 only. Hell yeah, man, V8 only. There we go, everybody. No. I drive a Challenger. I love the rumble. Yeah. Then get an ICE car, right? Yeah. I mean, I guess you could be. You all right, Adara? I guess you could be, like an aficionado. And want to have, the strength at the same time.
It doesn't make sense, I don't think.
Say that again, Randy? He put the pictures in the chat. Let's show the man. I'm going to load this up super quick. What do we got over here? Randy bucking. There he is.
Why, Ramin, you don't like the jewel sound of the EVs or what? I like the jewel sound. Okay, all right.
There it is. This is Randy's picture there from the car show. Obviously, it's not the best angle of the car there.
Yeah, what's up with that angle?
Yeah, it's okay. They can search it on their own, right? You know what I mean? Like they can have a look there. But it feels like most of the responses were, Hell no, y'all suck, Got Rats. I guess Got Rats wanted that, okay. Joseph Birch, it will help pedestrians not step off the curb in front of your quiet car. I get that. No. So there has been talk about that, Joseph, that these EVs are way too quiet and they pose a problem for pedestrians. All right, fine. I get that. So then make the EV noise. That's what it is, right? It's an EV. I don't know why we gotta put in fake ice noise. Nothing beats first gen Tundra. Those are good cars. Missing HMR says, oh, goodness. Yeah, it's breaking out. There's like 2 minutes left on the show. I can't take a trade right now. What else you guys saying over here? No, everybody's no. I'd have to make spaceship sounds instead, says Josh. Yeah, I'd rather spaceship sounds than fake exhaust sounds there. So shout out to you. On the blockchain. I would only want it if I could choose between different noises, etc. Maybe upload my own. Not a bad idea. He didn't say anything about that though. Marquise Brownlee didn't say. It's not like Tesla where you can include fart noises, like the ones you were putting in earlier there in your horn. Have you ever tried that? The Tesla adjust. Do you have any friends that have Tesla?
No.
Okay, yeah. Yeah,
I know you can adjust it. You can make like jingles and.
Exactly. One of the nice little quirks there on Tesla. Vizbot, I need my EV to be quiet so I can do my sneaky business. Oh, you bad boy. What are you doing over there? Whose house are you visiting that you got to be a little bit undercover? You bad kid, huh? You're going to get flagged there in the chat there, Vizbot. Any final thoughts, Joseph, as we wind down the show?
Nothing really, guys. Sitting on our hands right now. I want Tesla to break out, but I don't think it's a breakout type environment here. So we're going to be patient. We are rejecting VWAP once again on NVDA and in Tesla. KWeb looking like it wants to make an additional leg lower. That's okay. We got all out of that position. I wanted to add more to it, and I didn't. It looked like right where I got out would have been a good spot because now we have a lower low, which is a good sign for that short there. So I'll pull it up one more time to show you guys where exactly I got out. Here we go, and it looks like it wants to crack through this support level and then maybe continue to the downside. It's more of a slow grind here, Sharif, in KWeb, but there it is, looking like it wants to go here now, trading at 35.60. The reason why I took this trade is because you can see we had a breakout here, and then the volume really just fell off the cliff, so it wasn't necessarily sustained. I caught the middle of the range, didn't make a new high on the retest here, and then just broke through support and continued to the downside. So yeah, that's that. It does look like it's going to break VWAP, and if the volume and the momentum steps in, maybe we can get a little bit of a scalp on this. But the longs don't seem to be coming into play today, especially in the Mag 7. So maybe fade the pops on that one. Microsoft, I think, is really, I don't think it is really weak today, Sharif.
Yes, sir.
Continuing to make new lows. So unless Microsoft, Apple, and NVIDIA really start to participate to the top side, expect that we're going to continue to fade the pops.
See Adobe?
Yeah, is it still bleeding?
Oh, baby. Okay, we're going to do one quick analysis here because I know the boys are ready to go. We got a special guest on there with the Katina Man. All right, here's the deal. Let's just take these local highs. I'm not even going to go pandemic highs. We're not going to do pandemic highs. What we're going to do is local highs, Katina Man, that double top that we put in last year in January. Since that time, Katina Man, Adobe is down 41% from those highs. I'm not even taking the pandemic highs. Let's go to the pandemic. It's fine. Don't do that, Katina Man says. Nah, don't do that. All right, we're going to find out, Katina Man, just for you know what in giggles. We're down not too much of a difference there, Katina Man. 46 2/3% off the pandemic highs, that $700 area. We gave way too, guys, at that important area, at that 450 on Adobe. They reported yesterday, a bit of a mixed report. We talked about that in the morning. So Joseph and I now are overtime. So we're going to send you over to the big kahunas. We'll see you guys same bad time, same bad channel. See everybody soon.
Are you trying to?
Might stay there. Oh,
I don't think it's gonna. Yeah, you can put it in here. Here we go.
it's the orange man.
Okay. Welcome everybody. Cheers.